Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neeves Knives. I am running a tiny bit late. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully, all is well with everyone. Um, I did actually get a message somebody sent me, and I do appreciate them letting me know. I did not know, but I guess John Graham passed away. The guy who some of you guys might know. He makes the Razel knife. It's been a knife that's been out for a long time. It actually was one of Kara's grail knives for a long, long time. She loved that knife, and we never got to experience a custom one. We did have the CRKT version that they discontinued, which she loved that thing, even though there was a million things wrong with it. CRKT, but she loved it though, and we still have it. We still have it. Maybe I should pull it out or something, but it's still a pretty good knife. I remember Nick Shabazz actually did a review on it. Said a lot of the same things that I'd say about it. Some of the issues, but I guess he had cancer and he passed away. So, rest in peace to him. But he did make some incredible USA made knives. Those of you that don't know what a Razel looks like, we'll pull one up on the screen. It is a very unique blade shape. And by the way, shout out to Mike Emler, in the hospital for a few days. Sorry to hear that. I did see you post something on Instagram. Not sure exactly what was going on. But yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe you can call me later and let me know what's going on. That sucks. So everybody keep him in your prayers. Hopefully he gets out very soon. Kara's had a rough week. Not with her specifically, but there was somebody that came to her work every single day. Every day. It was an old man, and like the past few years, she's watched him like dramatically decline with his mental function, right? He obviously had dementia, and she got a phone call saying something that he we got well originally it was like he got into an accident or something, but and she thought he died. His family kind of, but not really. Nobody, like, he doesn't talk to anybody. So she was like somebody really close to him. He even would come in and like give stuff to her because like he doesn't talk to his kid and things like that. And she wound up like growing like a relationship with him. He's really old. Come in every day with this dog, this boxer. Well, it's happened. So he didn't die, but he wound up parking his car and wandering off. With the dementia. They found him, but didn't look for his car till the next day. The dog wound up dying in the back of the car from like heat exhaustion or something. Which is really sad because it was a really good dog. She went to the hospital and checked on him. None of the family knew of anything. So she went and tried to find the family and everything, driving all around like locations. Couldn't come up with much. She wound up coming up with stuff, but they actually requested her to become his like basically like his guardian for like a temporary guardian. She did wind up finding his son and like in-laws and things like that, which was a bitch, because there's a lot of turmoil between him and his family and stuff. But his mental health significantly declined rapidly recently, and yeah, it's a sad thing. But she's trying to help out as much as she can with him. She was at the hospital with him today. And is trying to help out with like the little details, like I said, getting a hold of family and figuring out what to do with them. The dog's gone, so there's nothing, you could do there. Go pick up the ashes because they cremated the dog. But it really pisses me off that the cops found him wandering and didn't even think to go and find his car and look in it, search it. Well, what if you had a child in there, right? Or a dog, right? But they didn't until the next day when the car company went and like tow it, because it was in the parking lot or whatever, wherever it was. And when they went there, they wound up finding that dog in the back. So yeah, it's really sad, man. So she's had a pretty tough past few days with all that. I just got kicked to a live video, 1086, I think. That was strange. Well, what's up, Boogie Man? Condolences. Can't watch. Rest in peace, pup. Thank you, Chris. Oh man, sorry, Kara. You're a terrific person. Yeah, I think she might actually do the next Patreon video. If you guys don't know, she's actually helping me out a lot more as of recently. We'll talk more about it, later on, but she's helping out a little bit more, and she might actually make the next Patreon video for you guys, for the patron members. She actually just got a little tiny knife that showed up today. I'm going to show you guys. I forget the name of this damn thing. It's a little too small for me, but it is a front flipper. And if you look at my thumb, I've already cut myself on it because I went to deploy it, and this thing is just so tiny. I can get it, and it's weird because I can actually, it's pretty snappy when you get it down, but it's easy to just fail it like that, and I did that right into my thumb, like wham. Got me really good right across the vein too. But if you create tension on it, you can snap it really good, and then it's snappy. But I think I need to put a little oil in it. But it's cool though, and you can do the little snapperoo, but it's just like a little tiny little razor blade, 14C28N, straight edge right here. It does have the second. It's not really a tip. This is the tip on this one. So little tiny razor blade G10. It does come in a titanium version as well. You guys might have seen it around. It's kind of like a little fifth pocket knife. This is the budget version of it. They do have a titanium version that's over $100. Yeah, we noticed Kara is getting back involved in the channel. She hijacked the Instagram pretty recently. I just thought it was a slow part of the coffee season. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, she's just trying to help me out because, as the channel grows more, if I want to keep up with it like I have, then, it would be awesome to have some help, right? Not that, she has to or anything, but if she wants to, then, it would help out a lot. And she said that she wanted to, so that's what she's doing. And, yeah, so she's been helping out on Instagram through the emails and things like that. And she might even, maybe make a couple posts here and there. Like I said, I don't know about that, but, I asked her earlier, I said, hey, do you possibly want to make the next Patreon video? And so that's something she might want to do. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe not. I don't want to jump ahead of things. But that would be cool. You guys know, yesterday during the video, I got cut twice. But yesterday's video with the dart, during the making of the dart, I actually had it, and I had it like this, and it's thin and small. Dropped it right into my kneecap. And it pissed me off too because I was wearing a brand new pair of jeans. Yes, they got blood on them. But yeah, just this thing is just such a little laser beam, man. It just dropped and just stick right into my kneecap. And yeah, so the pants don't really have a hole in them because the tip is so damn fine, it don't matter. But they got blood on them for sure. Just is what it is. But this thing is pretty cool. Oh, and then she actually connected the little pry bar to the chain. I don't know why, but that's what she wanted to do. Hey, we got a donation at Durban. Thank you for the donation, man. Thank you for the 5 bounce. I saw that video you did on the Tucson TS330. Dang, what a piece of crap that thing is. You should be ashamed to even hold that ugly thing. No, it's not. It's not a piece of crap. It's just it's not a piece of crap, man. It's well built. It's very, very well built. I just don't think that it was thought out in a way of like I think it's thought out in a way like that it's cool to have like the knuckles and everything, but I don't think it was thought out in a way of an actual defensive tool or anything like that. I think the idea is really cool. I think the build quality is really good. I just don't think they executed it very well as like a self-defense tool, if that's what they were going with, and they might have just been going for something cool and unique, which it is. And in that case, they knocked it out of the park. So I think it's pretty cool. Actually, you know what? Let's just check it out really quick because I do got it in the box right here. This box, check out the box. Look at got the stamp of the middle finger. Those of you that don't know, Ed Durbin is the one who sent me this. And it is a knuckles knife that is also a button lock. But the problem is when you go to put your fingers in, it really spreads your fingers out wide. So, like, your fingers are just way too wide for it to be really good like this. And then the pointer finger hole is a little too snug. I can do it. Don't get me wrong, I can do it, but it feels a little bit too snug compared to how you want knuckles to feel. Now, that could just be that's the way it has to be, right? In order to make this thinner, because this is where the pivot is, or sorry, this is where the pivot is. So in order to make it work, this just had to be that distance, maybe. I don't know. But also the action, it's smooth, very, very smooth, but it's like kind of like Foster Brown's washer action, where it's not like swing shutty. So you have to pull it open with 2 hands. And then like this is pretty comfortable to use like a claw, and you could possibly, use it as a jab tool, to use as a punch. And then the blade, you just got this little part of the blade you could use as like a claw, but it's not very practical. It's not very practical. Especially, like when I've seen brass knuckles and shit like that used in fights, and I've even been hit with them. So I just, just knowing what I know logically it wouldn't be that great. Now, like I said in the video I did, you could totally use it like a claw, maybe like a smack tool, come down like that, but I just don't think it's that practical. But hey, I don't think the practicality was supposed to be there. I think it's just supposed to be cool. And in that case, it is. It's a badass. And I think it's a cool piece to have in the collection. There's only 100 of them made. So this is very unique. Which for anybody's collection, the machine quality, it's titanium, really nice milling. So, I mean, shout out to a rattlesnake design, and it's got the middle finger on it. Let me show you guys that. It's got the damn middle finger by the logo. So, come on now. The skeleton middle finger. 14C28M blade steel. Good blade steel. What's the blade steel? Yeah, it's 14C28M, which is really good. And actually, here in just a second, I got a Contra test in the background. We're going to pull forward, and we are going to check it out and do a little tiny discussion on edge retention. Make sure your all subbed to Knife Sergeant. Open a new tab and do it now. Definitely go and follow Knife Sergeant. Awesome channel. Hopefully somebody can link it. But yeah, open up a new tab if you're on a computer or whatever, and go and follow his channel. Yeah, I think it's badass too. And I like badass things. Hard to beat for the money, Luke. Ed, another 5 bones. The middle finger. Sorry, guys. Let me turn this down. The middle finger is the notary of one of the designers, Savage Bastard Blade Works. Oh, really? Man, I guess I didn't realize that, but that's awesome, man. So it's 2 designers, Savage Bastard Blade Works and Rattlesnake Designs. I've tried, I think, 1 or 2 other Rattlesnakes designs. He's got some unique designs for sure. He likes the weird and unusual. If you're talking about this, a lot of people's hands wouldn't. Like I said, my pointer finger, it'll fit, but like if I was using it and I needed to get rid of it, I'd be struggling to get rid of it, which is something you don't want to do. But you're more likely with this to break your fingers. You know, and that's the reality of any. So it's not just these. That I got a real set around here somewhere. But that's the realities of any pair of knuckles. You're gonna probably break your fingers. It's just, the way it goes. But in many cases, like when I've seen them used in many cases, I mean, I've seen people get hurt with them, but I don't know. I guess a lot of times they didn't end up breaking their fingers, but sometimes, like especially if there's like a tussle, your finger gets caught in there and you're trying to get it out, or you're hitting and your finger gets stuck behind it. I've seen people get really hurt, hurting themselves using it, but a lot of people use them wrong. That you should use it as a jab tool, not necessarily as like a knockout thing, because like if you put it on and you're actually squaring up with somebody, they know you have it. So you throwing with all your might, you're just missing, and when you do connect, you're not connecting very clean because the person's moving. If the person wasn't moving and you were snaking them, that's different. In that case, then yeah, you could throw with all your might. But if you're going to square up with somebody, you're going to want to jab them with it, and it would be a tool made to like basically cut them up during the process. Fox, Jared, you out of focus. I know, I keep looking at that. It looks weird. Sorry, guys. Wait, did that fix it? It looks, you're out of focus. Camera focused on that beautiful knife rack. Well, hopefully it's focused now. Yeah, that knife rack's empty. You guys notice that? Let me just go like this. This might help. That might help. Yeah, that knife rack's empty. If you guys haven't noticed, I didn't do. Okay, so the thing going back there, obviously that's why everything's taken down. I got something that's going to be hanging back there. The reason why you guys haven't seen a video on it is because I'm trying to do the B-roll, but I have to do it outside, and it has been pouring rain. So I'm just waiting probably till tomorrow, and then I'll finish filming so that I can get it posted, and then you guys will see the big reveal. But my plan was for you guys for it to already be hanging back there. I wouldn't have your money, or I wouldn't give your money for the winter blade. What? I would, Dave, gave your money for the Winter Blades cofactor, though. End of the month, a batch available for immediate purchase. This is pre-order. Man, that thing looks pretty badass. I did see your Instagram post on it, Sergeant. It looks pretty badass. I'll give you that, man. That thing it's unique. I love, and I actually said this to the guy earlier. Think it is so badass to see new innovative things in the community. We always want to see that. We always want to see the community with new and fresh ideas and new things, and that is definitely that. And so shout out to them, man. That's a badass idea, and just everything he's doing seems really cool and unique. Not something you see constantly. Not saying the practical done very well, but I like to see new stuff too. The issue with swiping, however, is you have the risk of breaking your wrist. Well, you always have the risk of breaking your wrist. That I've known that broke the well, it was the bones. Like I've seen this a lot where they break these bones. That's a huge chance of happening. Uh OTF would be very difficult designed with Nux. Yeah, it'd be different, very different. But with slapping, now I mean slapping like this where you're like kind of doing a claw thing. That I don't think your wrist will be just fine. Your wrist is flexible because you just go like this. Because you're not that's a different motion. What you're probably going to wind up happening is when you do it, it's going to connect and rip backwards, and you're going to tear your skin up. Your skin's going to get tore up because the knuckles are going to slide when you do it, and it's gonna slide up, and it's just gonna tear all the skin off your fingers. That's another thing with something like this, the edges and everything. It's not even that they're sharp, but you with metal that's not polished and smoothened around the edges, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. But that's what you sign up for, right? When you decide to use something like that in the event that declared in your head that it is a better option than whatever the other option is, that's what you sign up for. You sign up for broken fingers, skin ripped off of your fingers, whatever, because it seems that the outcome of that is better than the other. So, what's up, Blades and Fades? Shout out to Blades and Fades. Definitely go and follow his channel as well. Awesome channel. Hopefully we can link these channels in the chat. Nuck OTF exists. It's a custom. We got some pretty badass OTFs here today, right now, because I'm trying to put together a badass USA made knife video. And I got a few knives that came in. And yeah, a couple heavy hitters. Hey! Thank you for the 5 bones. Neevesknives. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Holy shit. Thank you. Jared was responding to my own comment. I said the best way to use knuckles is with swiping motion to tear a person's face up and minimize damage to your own knuckles. Yeah, I think the best way personally is to jab, to have them on, especially if you're because it just depends on how you're looking at it. Like, obviously, if you're snaking somebody and they don't know you're going to hit them, that's different. But if you're actually squared up with somebody, it's to just jab them because it's not going to take much. You hit them in the teeth, you're going to be cutting their face up. And somebody gets jabbed with a set of brass knuckles, it makes them hesitate on anything else they're going to do in that fight. It's going to make them nervous. They get hit one time, and a jab is very easy to land in that butt. Then you have a likely chance of getting tangled up, and now you guys are scrapping and rolling and fighting. And you could possibly get your fingers broke there. It never goes as planned. However, you think something's going to go in your head, it's going to be the exact opposite. So, and like, what the effect that you think, like, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I've seen people fucked up with brass knuckles, but I've also seen people take it like a champ. Like, it didn't even have no effect. It's kind of like when I got hit, I didn't even hardly react, and my eyebrow was hanging off. And I've been hit with brass knuckles and barely reacted too. So it just depends on the individual, how drunk they are, and how hard headed they are. I guess how good of a swing you get and where you hit. But that's why I said, because like hitting somebody in the head, it's Less likely, I mean, don't get me wrong, you could really dent somebody's head. I used to have a pair that had spikes, like long spikes, but just the end of these were like just barely poked up. And those would do damage, like a lot of damage. I even told the story where I got hit by a pair like that one time. But anyways, it does depend on where you hit, but that's why I said, like, if you're getting hit in the face, but not to the point to where the person's hitting you as hard as they can, so they're missing and breaking their fingers, but where they could repeatedly keep doing it, you're going to be getting cut up really bad. You're going to be leaking. Um, Holding anything in your hand will get you a serious charge. Just work on your skills. Yeah, for sure. I mean, but I don't anything can get you a serious charge. I would say I've seen so many times where shit happened and there wasn't no charges because nobody showed up. No cops showed up. It does depend. But when it comes to something happening, sometimes you got to take your day in court. Sometimes that's better to take your day in court than to wind up in a wheelchair or something. There's so many different situations depending on where you're at, depending on how the fight started and everything. Obviously, you're squaring up and it's somebody and it's like a one-on-one thing. Then and maybe the guy or something. Yeah, you just throw down. But if you're getting jumped by multiple people, I don't think you care what's in your hand. You're actually going to prefer something in your hand. So I think it's very easy for people to judge how somebody's going to decide to move until they're put in that situation. As I'll tell you what, when you have 5 guys around you wanting to crack your skulls with baseball bats and shit, you're not going to give a shit. You're going to want something in your hand for sure. Hey, Jared, glad you are hanging out tonight. Thank you, man. I'm glad you're here too. I'm glad everybody's here. I wish I would have grabbed my other fucking device. I came late, guys. Holding it. Oh, yeah, I already read that one. But yeah, it is what it is. And if you're in court and you got to explain to them why you were holding something in your hand, just hopefully you have a good excuse. If it winds up there, as in many cases, it ain't going to wind up there. In some cases, yes, absolutely. I'm trying to just pull this up so that I can see the chat really quick. What the fuck? I don't want to be incognito. All right. Sorry, guys. Almost finished getting my new apartment together. Just moved in Wednesday. Been working on it from the time I get off till the time I go to sleep. Last 2 days. Can't wait to get my studio set up. Yeah, that's awesome. I seen your post on that, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. Good for you, man. Good for you on that. I knew you'd make it. It's just sometimes it's just a matter of time. And hey, man, you're here now. That's awesome. What do we have? 125 people in here. Don't forget to hit the like button. I do appreciate all you guys joining me tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. In Florida, you can shoot and kill anyone that poses you harm. And if you feel you're in danger of bodily harm, just buy a gun and only use it to protect yourself. Simple. Well, that's simple for Florida. You have a stand your ground law, right? So it's not that simple. It's that simple for a person that's not a felon. It's that somebody who has a firearms license, because I think Florida does have firearm cards. It's, you know what I mean? There's a lot of variables there. So yeah, it's simple for the guy who has a firearms license in the state of Florida and has the stand your ground laws. Most places, when you go in court, when you do your day in court, if you're defending yourself, you're going to be just fine. But see, like in stand your ground laws or states, you don't have to leave. Right? You, like in court in certain places, they're going to say, did you have an opportunity to leave? Right? In Florida and other places, I think Georgia, I forget what the other ones, you don't have to turn and leave. Right? You can stand your ground, which I think is amazing. I think that's awesome, because it's very difficult sometimes to turn your back and walk away. And then a lot of times that poses a bigger threat than standing there. Not saying that you shouldn't, if you can get out, get out. But what I mean is, like, I've seen so many people try to turn and run, and that was to their detriment. So it depends. It depends. But your state, everything, it all depends. But I do 100% believe in stand your ground. But but also though, like when you do your day in court, um, in a lot of states, if you pull a gun and you shoot somebody that didn't have a gun, you're fucked, right? Like it does depend on the situation, what they have, and their intentions and everything else. But in a lot of cases, you're going to be fucked. You're going to get manslaughter. At the very least, you're going to get manslaughter. But hey, sometimes that's better than the alternative, right? But yeah, obviously, if you have the ability to get a firearm for self defense or to carry and you can conceal carry it and stuff, obviously do that. But they try to make it as difficult as possible for people to be able to do that. You know, there's a big country out here, and in a lot of places, they make it very, very difficult for you to do that. Um, and yeah, but in a lot of places, you can. So, and which I think that's great. I think you should be able to carry whatever, but that's my opinion. I used to have a Derringer that had like a 2.5 knuckles on the front bottom part of the grip. It was a nifty little thing from the 50s. Nice. Yeah, I used to have, it wasn't an actual Derringer, but what it was a 45 410s. It was a 45 long Colt and a 410. It was a double barrel. It was only a one knuckle though. So you could get one knuckle on there and you were shooting 45 long Colts and 410 shotgun shells or 410 shotgun shells. You could shoot either one. And I remember the first time I shot it, I thought that it was just going to be horrific because you only had one knuckle on the thing, you know, and it's a double barrel, but it actually wasn't bad because when it shot, it would just pop up. So it wasn't bad at all. It was actually pretty awesome. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with the thing, but it was pretty awesome. I had a Microtech UTX 70 and had to send it back for repairs twice and then sold it because I got tired of it breaking. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Sometimes some lemons happen, but you would think that they would fix it or be able to fix it and or replace it if it continues to have issues. So like something like that, me personally, if I've sent it back like 3 times in a row for the same issue, I'm going to try to demand they replace it and just be like, "Listen, I bought this and it has never like not had this issue. You guys have fixed it 3 times. I'm sick of this thing breaking. Replace it with a brand new one." I mean, that's their obligation, I would think. Illinois self-defense laws are super tricky. Right. They're tricky. So it depends. Like I mean, it depends on your judge, it depends on the situation, it depends on the person and who you are and your record. It depends on so much. But a lot of times the things just don't never go to court. It stays on the streets. But for those that do wind up in court, you still got a good chance of being just fine as long as it was self defense. You have a great chance of getting a judge that understands. But you also, it just depends. Hey, mom. Hello, my son. How are you? Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday, mother. I love you, and yeah, I hope you're having a good day. Um, you hear about grandma doing life because she didn't wait for the intruder to get far enough in her window. Yeah, I think sometimes are those are weird situations, but yeah, it does depend on your state, and that's why to me, like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to get into. There's just you have to define the exact scenario, but somebody on the other side of a door that's coming through that door, it's hard to say that grandma should just shoot shots off because of you, right? So I think it is, or to the best of their ability, somebody wanting to do harm or break into their house, um in many cases, as long as they hear you though, If you scream and yell, and they're still trying to break in, for sure. And, you have an idea that it is not, your nephew or your grandson or whoever. I say fucking pop some holes in the door. But that's me. That's me. But it's hard to say because there's so many different situations. Hey, Tri-State EDC. Shout out to Tri-State EDC. Definitely go and follow his channel as well. I did recently tag him in a video. So we'll see if he does it. Yeah, for sure, Craig. 100%. The stricter the gun laws are in whatever state, usually the more crime. Almost always the more crime. And it makes sense. So criminals they don't care about the law anyways, right? So, and I've been a criminal, so I know, you don't care about the laws, and it actually only makes it better for you because if I know you're a law-abiding citizen, I know you're unarmed. I'm armed because I don't give a fuck about the laws. I'm robbing people already. That's not legal in any state, but I'm still doing it anyway. So the only difference is I'm armed and you're not. And I know you are a fucking target. So yeah, it definitely makes more crime. But when people are armed and you don't know who's armed around you, it makes people a lot more cordial, right? And I think I think I might have said that in Mike's stream last night. That's a good way to make sure everybody's very polite. When there is the threat of violence, most people are more polite because it's not that you want to be violent or the other person does. It's just that the threat is there, right? And you don't know what somebody has or anything like that. So everybody's respectful. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Criminals by definition don't give a shit about right. Right. It's in the word. It's in the name. Tim, we have he's talking about his laws. An armed society is right. An armed society is a polite society. Facts. And yes, I'm putting my list together for the tag video, but it will have to wait until I get back from Chicago. Oh man, you might as well just give up. That's going to be too damn long. What is that? Like in 6 months? Just fucking with you. No, that's awesome. Whatever. Boogeyman EDC, thank you for the 2 bones, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we do need to get up together. I know you said where you were staying. I thought about I'll just talk to you later. I'm not going to say it in the chat. Jared grew up around Chicagoans. Of course he's a criminal, right? Yeah, I definitely was. Yeah. I'm not a fan of open carry, concealed all the way, not for others' welfare, but yeah, I agree. I think it should definitely be concealed. I mean, I don't care either way. I just think it's safer, right? I think it's safer for the person that's carrying, because if I see what you're carrying, and I might want it. Like in high crime areas, guns are a big currency. They really are. So since they're such a big currency, if I see you have one, I might want it. So, it's easier to take if I can see it, because then I can see your hands. I can see everything. I can side swipe you. You guys know the rest. So I think it is better if you can conceal it, but I think you should have the choice, but whatever. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. I know it's cliche, yeah. I think in many cases, most people, not all, because obviously a lot of people want to do harm. Many cases, the person doesn't want to do harm, especially like, I'm not even gonna say that because there's so many different situations out on the streets. How did this go? And there was somebody who actually said this in a song, but if they come with a mask, they most likely are they're not trying to kill you or hurt you. If they come with their face showing, they're most likely going to try to kill you. Not saying always, but I'm just saying you got a lot more likely chance. Yeah, always there'll be a currency for sure. Even more valuable than gold in many cases, and almost all cases, not by weight or anything like that, but by necessity. Right. In Washington, the government just went after our high capacity mags starting. That sucks, man. I think that's so stupid. I can go on and on with the stupidity of a lot of states and their policies and their ignorance, their fucking ignorance to firearms in general and just everything. And even to the Constitution, like I, I think I don't know how that would be, but I think it should be like mandatory that the people like trying to fight for that should know the Constitution back and forth and be obligated to, because you're supposed, like, that's supposed to be, our rights, or to have our constitutional rights first and foremost. So I think anything that restricts you from having any sort of firearm carry or anything like that is just, it's against your constitutional rights. And that's just my opinion. I don't care if anybody else agrees or not. It doesn't matter to me. But I think that they're just slowly taking it inch by inch. That's what they're doing. So vote better, fucks. Start voting better. Maybe we'll get better outcomes. It is what it is. I mean, it sucks, but you can be guaranteed that ignorant people that don't know any better and will continue to take things inch by inch to disarm you and make you weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, because the weaker you are, the more they can enforce what they want to, and the more they can. This is just going to get deep if I continue going. So let's just get off this subject. Let's just do that. Fuck the Constitution, clean house. People here in Pennsylvania are concerned about red flag laws, but I think Florida has this. Thoughts? I don't know about that. So, lowering high capacity mags lowers the protection one has in a situation where one has to protect his family. Yeah, for sure. It does a lot. And separate it from that, right? Like, what about the Constitution? It has nothing to do with protecting your family. Well, I mean, it does, but it has to do with protecting you from tyranny. And with tyranny, they're coming with high capacity magazines for sure. I have to, but don't say fuck the Constitution, because the Constitution is what protects us 100%. That's what keeps us free citizens under God, not under government. So I wouldn't say that. That's the one that what we need to do is protect the Constitution and take back all the little tiny inches that they've already taken that's pushed against our constitutional rights. That's what we need to do. Not say fuck the Constitution. That's a dumbest thing to do. That's the only thing that separates us from tyrannical governments. I mean, from other countries and stuff. That's the one thing that separates us. That's why that's why we're not there yet, which we kind of are, but why it's taking so long. If switches means communism is assholes, then yeah, the administration is horrendous unless you're yep. The Constitution can be changed, just a FYI. I'm not sure about that. From the English, I don't know what that means. All right, so let's get into some knife stuff. So I have a thing we're going to check out really quick. It won't take long, but basically what it's doing is it has the same steel in multiple different versions and different angles, and we're going to see where the edge retention increases. So we have right here, this is from Knife Steel Nerds. We're going to scroll. Oh, can you guys see what I'm? No, you guys can't even see it. So here's from Knife Steel Nerds. Maximizing edge retention. What Katra reveals about optimum edge. So I'm going to scroll down. So if you guys don't know, Katra test basically tests edges and steels and things like that through these paper cards to see how much they can cut before going dull. It basically tests geometry and edges and stuff like that. So now that we know that, you can see this picture here. This is 154 cm. Now, one thing I want you to really notice here, because we're going to talk about other things other than the test that they have. We're also going to talk about some things I want to show. So if you look at the grain structure of the steel, you can see the carbides, the bright white colors. That's the carbides. So you see all the carbides. There's a decent amount of carbides. 154 cm is an amazing steel, but you can see how they're big and chunky. So when I talk about sharpening 154 cm and how it takes such a better edge than CPM 154, I'm going to show you why here in a second. So you see all the big carbides. Now, it's still a very fine-grained structured steel. And then when we roll down here to CPM 154, now this is a powdered version of 154 cm. And you can, and you can see how much finer grained this is. So you can see the carbides are much more spread out. They're much more finer. It's a lot finer grained. So when you sharpen this, this is why it does so much better with a toothy edge. And not so much with a really fine edge. Now, I'm not saying you're going to lose edge retention or anything. I'm saying the bite. And you guys got to remember, like, that's not saying that you're losing edge retention or that it's not sharp or anything like that. It's just talking about the bite from the edge. The difference between being slick and having bite. So, this is showing the tests that they did. So the blades were sharpened by Jason Bossman using DMT diamond plates of 325, 600, 1200, or 8,000 grit with DMT angle guide. The knives were given different edge angles of 56 degrees, 50 degrees, 34 degrees, 27, and 20 degrees total. Half of that per side. So that was that inclusive? So basically the 20 degrees means it was a 10-degree edge bevel on both sides. You guys get it? The 50 was 25 degrees on both sides. Basically what you get from a factory. Okay. So the 50 you see right here is basically what you get from a factory. So we're going to scroll down. All right. So here are the two edge on micrographs of the CPM 154 and 154 cm. I believe these were sharpened to 8,000 grit, as the scratches are all under 3 micron. If I get confirmation of what the edges were sharpened to prior the micrograph, I will update this article. The edges are approximately 1.5 micron at the apex. However, there are holes in the 154 cm edge, which are about 4 microns wide, which may be evidence of the carbide's pullout, where a large carbide or string of carbides is lost during sharpening. Anyways, so you can take a look at that. I guess that would be the apex right here down the middle, but we're not really worried about that. That's not what we're talking about right now. So let's just keep on going. So right here is the angles that they had, right? So you can see here, this is the 50. So this is basically a factory edge, okay? Down here is more similar to something I would sharpen to. I usually don't go down to 10 degrees per side, 20 inclusive. I usually do like 15 to 17 degrees per side. So more like the 27 here. See how the 27 is here? This is more like an edge bevel that I do compared to what a factory is. But see the big difference there? Think about that cutting performance and how much more bite you will have from an edge from the 25 degrees per side versus the 17 degrees per side right here, or the 14, 15 degrees per side. Huge difference. And you even see in many cases the 56 degrees inclusive, which would be 28 degrees per side. I see that all the time from factories. Now, let's scroll down here. So the micrographs taken off the profile of the edges show that the target angles were achieved. So we know that they achieved their target angles. We'll just continue going. So this is the edge bevels. You can see how high the edge bevels are. Like, look at this. Doesn't this remind you of like an axe or something? But that's what your edge angle is like from a factory in most cases. Not all, but a lot. Now, this is where we want to get to. Edge angles had by far the strongest effect on edge retention. I talk about this all the time with you guys. Much stronger than other effects such as PM versus ingot and the finish it was sharpened to. Here are graphs showing the performance of 20 degrees, 34, and 50 degrees versus cut length for individual cut and also for total card cut in millimeter. So basically what it's showing is the card cut length. So basically how many cards did it cut? How long did it cut for, right? How long did it cut for? And you can see right here, the 10-degree edge bevel per side or 20 degrees inclusive, meaning the entire edge bevel equal 20 degrees, because 10 degrees per side, right? Cut a lot more, a significant amount more than the 50. Look at how low the 50 is. So the 50 is similar to what you get from a factory. So it's no wonder why your edge from a factory, even if it's not burnt, even, if there's nothing wrong with it, it's perfectly fine, it still is not going to be, it's not going to cut as long as something that's resharpened at a lower angle. So, and it's a lot different too. I mean, that's a lot more edge retention you're getting out of that. Now, consider even when you resharpen your knife of what, if whether or not you want to follow the factory angle or not. Now you can see down here, same thing. You can see massive, massive difference here. The 20 degrees or 10 degrees per side is far more superior. Even the 34, which would be 17 degrees per side, that is was it double? Let me see. What are we at? 400 and this one. No, over double. And then, degrees. Okay, that's just showing. But yeah, I found this pretty fascinating to see. Now, if you guys want to go and read the rest of this site, you guys can see a lot more. We're not going to sit here and go through it all on here today, but it would be interesting. Maybe I'll bring it back up the next live we do, and we will talk more about this, about the effects of thickness behind the edge and all that stuff. So you guys can go and check this out. This exact one is Maximizing Edge Retention by Knife Steel Nerd. So definitely go and check that out. Oof. Anyone else remember when the peasants got upset and we just stormed the house of the Lord, loot it, take out the owner, and rip him and his family up in the road? Man, good times. Okay. Reminds me of Hinder's Factory Edges. Got him. I don't know what's going on with Microtech and Axial Gear right now, but I got a video coming up here pretty soon that I've already had in the works for a long time, and it might have some heavy duty Microtechs in it. So I don't want nobody judging my video because this has been in the works for a while. Anyways, I do want to try some Axial Gears. I feel bad for what's going on because it seems like again, we got another bully in the community with Marfione, Tony Marfione. It sucks, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on lately and what's up with these knife makers. Does this happen every year when we get close to Blade Show? I don't know. I have no idea, but I feel bad for Axial Gear. They seem like a pretty stand-up company. I have not talked to them. Man, it seems like I'm not focused. Maybe I should. Let's try something. Let's just do that. Why is it doing that? I'm about to take that thing off the wall. It's like trying. Let me go like this. You guys might see a little bit of my. I'll go like this. Sorry, guys. Is that better? Yeah, I think so. Well, let me see if I can zoom out now, though. You guys might see that white thing. It's just one of my lights right here. Normally, I lift it up and back it up so it's not in the scene. But when I'm filming right here, I pull it over so I have lights coming from all angles. Because I got this light, and this light. And I like to have them, coming down kind of like a light box. Anyways, sorry. But I would like to check out Axial's knives. Everybody seems like they're really good. Sorry. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm I'm a newbie, man. I'm a newbie. Hey, 145,000 subscribers. It's insane. We are still growing. Haven't slowed down. We did slow down a little bit, but then we picked it right back up. We're about to pass Nick Shabazz here in a couple days. Unless if something extreme happens on Nick Shabaz's channel and prevents us. But as of right now, we are pulling, and this isn't me boasting or anything. This is my excitement. I love it. I'm very thankful for all the support and all the new subscribers. But it looks like we're pulling about 24 to 25,000 subscribers a month at the moment. That can go down tomorrow, but 145K at that rate. If it stays at that rate, we'll be passing Nick Shabazz in just a couple days. That's amazing. I'd love to get him on the channel. I'm going to talk to I talked to him sometime. I've talked to him a couple times, Nick, on like Instagram or whatever, but I'm going to have Mike, because Mike actually talks to him, and see if he'll possibly come out on a live with me. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I know a lot of the other at least it seems. I don't want to put things in their mouths or anything like that, or in their mind, but it seems that some other channels don't want to come on here with me. It just seems that way. I'm not saying it's true or not, but I'd like to get Nick on here if he's willing to do it. If not, it's okay. No hard feelings. Not at all. I still love the guy. I love his channel. Awesome dude. Respect him like massively. So a legend in the community, but I would like to have him on, just to goof around and talk about some knives and things like that. Hey, Cue Ball with the 5 bones. Jared, 150K, and then on to 200K. It will happen. Well, technically, man, which I know it's not. I don't want to say it's not gonna, because, I would never even think that we made it this far, this fast, but if it stuck the same, we'll be hitting 200K in just a few months, which is nuts. But I feel very, very blessed. Thank you guys. You guys are just a huge support system, and I really can't thank you guys enough. If the topic is sharpness, what's the best way to go about sharpening a pocket knife with sharpen a pocket knife with a dull knife to a decent edge? Because I beat the crap out of mine at work. So I have a playlist of sharpening knives, of teaching knife sharpening, freehand sharpening, using fixed angle systems. There's lots of different ways to sharpen. You can get a system, you can get stones and freehand it yourself. But you should watch my channel. I have a sharpening playlist that teaches, and the best video for you to watch my step-by-step freehand sharpening. That'll be a great video for you to watch, because you have to learn what you're trying to do, right? Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to hold an angle on both sides and create a burr and do burr removal. So you have to understand burr removal and things like that. So you do have to understand the process of which it takes to make an edge sharp, and then you have to be able to do it, which is two different things. Just because you know what to do doesn't mean you can do it, which you could. You can also get things that will help you out a lot. I thought I had it sitting here. not. But like you can get the Work Sharp Field Sharpener. You could definitely sharpen your knife on that. So I definitely recommend that. The Work Sharp Field Sharpener. It has everything you need all in one package. Hey, Grateful Panic. Shout out to Grateful Panic in the house. Definitely go and follow his channel as well. Good to see you, brother. Yo, gotta practice your fundamentals. Absolutely. You gotta practice your fundamentals 100%. Because that's why I recommend the field sharpener, because it has the angles already on there. Because the hardest thing for you to do is going to be holding your angle. But if you have the angle already set for you and you just have to keep the angle that's set for, because there's a difference between same angle and repeating it versus just holding the angle they give you. That's a lot easier, especially for a beginner. So you can even get stones and just get one of the little angle guides. I also recommend that. That's better. That can be a better way of doing it. I'm using one right now. Nice, Ethan. I thought I had one fucking sitting right here. I would show you guys. It's so I don't know. I must have brought it out in the other room. Jared, what's your preferred pull through for pocket knives? Stay away from pull through sharpeners. Do not get pull through sharpeners. If you do yourself a favor right now, just right now, if you have one, if it's in your drawer, if somebody gave you one, you got one for Christmas. If you have one right now, do yourself a favor, take it outside and chuck it as far as you possibly can. If you have a garbage nearby, even better. So then you're not littering. But get rid of that fucking thing. Get yourself a ceramic rod and or a Work Sharp Field guided sharpener. Now, there's other that work really good, but don't get a pull through. It's not a sharpener, first of all. A pull through, it doesn't even make sense. A pull through knife sharpener, it's not sharpening your knife. You got to understand that. It is creating micro bevels by tearing into the metal with what the hell's it called? I can't think of what the thing is called, but it doesn't matter. The point is it's just creating a bunch of micro bevels that are at all different angles, because you're not going to pull it through exactly perfect every time. And the tiniest little angle difference, like right now, I just changed angle 3 times in a row, and you guys probably can't even tell. So you're definitely not going to be able to do it perfectly. And even if you could, still not going to work. But the point is that it just creates a whole bunch of different micro bevels, which in return does 2 things. 1, tears up your edge. And 2, if it makes it sharp, which it probably will, it will work for 1 or 2 cuts, and then it'll be dull again. And then you're back pulling through, ruining your edge even more. So you're just damaging your edge. That's all you're doing. Just get a proper sharpener, sharpen your knife from the top of the edge bevel. Now, does that mean you can't create micro bevels? No, of course not. You can do that, but you shouldn't do it that way. Is there a place for those? I wouldn't use them, but I'm sure there's somewhat there's like if you have a cheap, shitty dollar store kitchen knife and you don't really care to sit there and spend time sharpening it, yeah, that would be fine for that. Or maybe if you're out in the field and you know you're just going to resharpen your knife when you get back and you just need to get it a little sharp to finish processing something, then yeah, maybe then. But if you had a Work Sharp Field sharpener, you wouldn't need it. You could just do it like that. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Shane, man. Fuck, man. You're in our prayers, man. I really hope you feel better soon. Hopefully just getting some rest and just laying around will help. Hopefully you're taking your medicine. I'm sure you are, but hopefully the medicine starts working. Man, it sucks, man. I'm sorry, man. Home sharpening knives get a bit of a mangled finish. How are you preventing this, Jared? Home sharpening knives get a bit of mangled finish. So it's just practice, learning how to hold your angle. right? That's the most important part, is repeating your angle. So I have a trick I do, right? Now, most people wind up hurting their finger, their little precious finger on the stones, but you can get capped on tape and tape your finger, and you can do my finger trick. That is a great way. And I can pretty much guarantee you're going to get a good edge bevel if you do my finger trick. Watch my step by step freehand sharpening video. Step by step freehand sharpening video. That will help you out. It'll tell you what stones to get, and it'll tell you how to get an edge bevel and how to deburr. And if you just copy what I do in that video, you'll be all right. And, of course, you have to continue practicing, like it's not something you get down once or twice. It's like riding a bike, it takes a little practice. Sometimes you need some training wheels. And when I say training wheels, I mean an angle finder. So it's just like a little triangle that you put on your stone. And it's like a little ramp. It's like a little ramp you'd use to jump with a bicycle. It goes on your stone, and that will help you hold your angle to go across the stone and to repeat your angle. There's lots of different ways, but right here's the video. So click this and save it for after this live. So you can save it for after the live and watch it. Don't forget to hit the like button when you get there. Thank you, Fiend. I do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And yes, here is Shane's channel. Definitely follow his channel as well. He's not doing so good right now, and I'm sure it'd cheer him up to see a bunch of people subscribing to his channel. Hopefully he gets back on his feet soon. I keep a guided field sharpener in my work bag just in case. Yeah, it's such a good tool, man. Such a good tool. I just use 40 grit sandpaper and a brick. Whatever works, man. See, I don't think there's anything wrong with some sandpaper as long as it's a carbon steel and it's not a high carbide steel. A high carbide steel, you want to use diamonds. You need to use diamonds. We spoke about it a lot because high carbide steel, non-simple steel. So simple steels, you're okay with wet stones and aluminum oxide stones and natural stones, but there's lots of studies proving this. So this isn't just a theory. You can see it on a microscopic level that aluminum oxide stones or Arkansas stones, things like that, they basically tear the steel around the carbides, exposing the carbide and then shattering the carbide, and it leads to not long lasting edges. So if you want long lasting edges on a steel above a simple steel, you're going to want to use. Now, I'm not saying there's not some budget mid-grade steels that you can use those stones on, but just to be safe, because of the carbides, just use diamonds. Diamonds will make your edge last a lot longer. And it cuts so much faster. And in my opinion, it leaves a really nice aggressive edge. I love it. Hey! Shopper 214, thank you for the 5 bones. I'm an intermediate knife maker. I use a belt sander to establish the edge, but would like a fixed angle system to put a set angle on my bevels. TS Prof is the one I recommend the most. The Cadet, I think it would be the best for you being a knife maker, because depending on the size, because I don't know what size knives you make, but the Cadet would work really good for you. So the TS, it's expensive, but well worth the money. Well worth the money. Because it's like, just like anything, right? If you're wanting a system that's going to last a fucking long time, and where you can, use any stones you want and things like that. And yeah, you want a good system that is not going to be rinkety or falling apart or, flexing. It's a good system, but it's a professional system, so it's going to cost you. But that's where we're at. You get what you pay for. Not saying you can't get great edges with budget sharpeners, because you absolutely can, but they're not going to last as long. They're going to flex more, and it takes the ease and makes it easier. Like when you buy and you shell out that cash for a good quality sharpener, it takes out all the negative things, all the flexing and the frustration and the this moving and the that moving and figuring this out. It just makes it so much simpler. That's what it is. Hey, Maurice with the 20 bones. The the Orgasmatron, the genetic jackhammer is here. Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate the donation. Hopefully your jackhammer is treating you well. Or you're the jackhammer, I guess. Thank you for joining us, jackhammer. Invest in good sharpening stuff. We invest in right. If you have good quality knives, you should have a good quality sharpener. I think, if you're gonna have $150, $100 knives and you're gonna have multiples of them, then you should have a good quality sharpener. Not saying that a budget sharpener won't work great for you, because it does depend. How much do you sharpen? How often? How much do you enjoy it? But a budget sharpener you're going to be taking a lot more time than on something that's more professional and more well built. Something more well built, you are going to spend half the time. You're going to be able to use the stones you want. It's just, there's so many more benefits to it. You're not going to have the frustrations. It's just easy to use, easy to flip, easy to match your angles, just so many benefits. And they're solid, They're something that can last a long time. Get yourself a diamond pull through. I'm still waiting for that damn video, man. I want to see that video. But I don't think, if it was a diamond pull through, I wouldn't be so mad. If it was a diamond pull through, I would say that it's still creating different angled micro bevels, but that I wouldn't bitch about that. I would say focus heavily on your angle though. But that I wouldn't be too mad about. I still think that you would get a lot farther with a rod. But you could do it. Said he wants to taste penguin. Yeah, Mike said he wants to taste some penguin. What is that Benchmade that has the blade only sharpened on one side? I'm not sure, but that would be any knife with a chisel grind. Speaking of the weird knives, what do you guys think about this new Civivi? Be honest. What do you guys think? So it's more of a self-defense knife, right? It's a two-positioned. I'm gonna call it a fixed blade. Okay. I know it's not technically a fixed blade, so don't bash me in the comments. We're gonna talk about how it locks and everything, because I can tell now. So we have a two-position fixed blade. It has a button right here. Push the button, and you can snap it into a secondary position for punching, right? Or, whatever, right? Or you can have it straight like that, where it's just a straight knife. It's double-edged all the way around with some nasty serration. You get caught by that serration, ooh boy. And man, they did a good job with the edge. For a factory edge, they did a really good job. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I didn't drop this one into my knee. That would fuck me up. But so the way it works, and I think it would work somewhat decent, because the stop pin is not a fixed blade, right? It's not a fixed blade, but you guys see the back spacer, which is this handle, which is the attitude adjuster back here, right? With the impact tool back there. So that wraps all the way around both sides, right? So what happens is the blade stops on that. I'm going to zoom in and show you guys so you guys can see. Hopefully the light will hit it just right. So it's hitting that right there. Come on. Come on. It's hitting this. On the other side, it's hitting there too now. So you can see a shiny spot right there. That's where it stops. So it's going to be strong. I don't know how strong the button lock part's going to be, but the worst thing that would happen is that would break and then it would snap into this position. But then I guess if it's flopping, that's not going to be great, right? If it's doing this shit. But I don't know. It might be really straight. I mean, dude, it's solid. It really is, guys. It's fucking solid. But maybe we need to take it out back and hit it with a hammer. Maybe, right? I'll do it. See how tough this thing is. Maybe throw it at a couple trees. See how good it works. If I can throw it at a tree 5 times and it doesn't break 5 to 10 times, would you guys say it's acceptable? Let me ask you that. If I took it and I threw it at a tree like this, just wham, right into a tree 5 to 10 times and it doesn't break, would it be acceptable at that point? And then how hard do I have to be able to hit it here and not fail it for it to be acceptable? Do it now. I don't have a tree in here, guys. I'm not using my damn thing back there. I'm not throwing. I like that thing. And it's not a throwing board. And I don't have a tree in here. Break it now. I can't break it now because then I don't have the content, guys. It's good content. See, you guys don't care about me. If you guys cared about me, you'd say, Jared, save it for a video so you can get that damn content, so you can get them views. Honey Bear's like, do it. I still won't buy it, but I'll watch the video. That's what I'm talking about. Do it now. I can't do it now because I don't have something here to break it with, and I don't have nothing to throw in it. And I'd rather test it where I test it, like it'd be better to do a little testing than towards the end, then get some more abuse tests and let's see where it goes. Because I also want to take the scale off and show the stop pin. I want to see how it locks up. I don't want to just break it and then explain it in a video. I'd rather show it in it. Wouldn't it be better for you guys to see it in real life in 1080p? I'll run it over with my semi if you want. Yeah, I'd like you to do that, actually. I want to put it under your tire facing up. Just like that. Well, I don't. What should I name the video though? How strong is the Civivi Orthrus? How tough is the Civivi Orthrus? Is the Civivi Orthrus really a good self-defense knife, or can the Civivi Orthrus take or survive through abusive tests? I think that one sounds pretty good. What's up, Mike? Shout out to the Bang Gang Squad. Yes, shout out to the Bang Gang Squad. All the Bang Gang members in here. Jared, save it for a vid for the content. I see somebody in here cares. Thank you. You don't think it'll break? I don't think it'll break either, to be honest. I think the only way it'll break is if I mean to break it. I think it's going to be a lot stronger than you guys think. I think they designed it pretty well, to be honest. It feels very solid. I think it's going to make it. I think it'll take at least 5 to 10 knife throws. Perfectly fine. Now, the spine whack, while it's closed, I think it could handle a good amount of hitting. I think obviously if I took a hammer to it, that'd be different. But if I take a stick and I hit it really hard, I'm not talking about pussyfooting, and I'm talking about actually hitting it, I think it could handle it. Now, obviously, if I took a hammer to it, yes, I could break it, but I could do that with a fixed blade. So that's not a good argument. Yeah. Gotta have that content. Gotta have them views. Just call it indestructible. But that's only if it is indestructible. Oh, indestructible with a question mark. Yeah, but I need the name, or maybe I should put the title in there. Uh, like the Civivi Orthros Indestructible question mark. That's not a bad idea, actually. 5 things the Civivi Orthros survived, or wait, and then question mark, or did it? Right, right. Get a good belt on her. She could have it on her hip. Not a bad idea. I like where you're going with this, Michael. But can you do it with a kukri? See, I don't see. That's the thing, is a kukri's not gonna, you know, nothing will happen. You could shoot a fucking kukri. Everybody know that. Hey, Neevesknives, what's your favorite blade steel? At the moment, K390 in crew wear. Blade steel, 14C20, and then I do really like the Magna Cut at 63 HRC and up. So, but I love crew wear. I love K390. I love 14C28N. I love 20CV when it's done well. 4V, M4, those steels are all great. I like S30V. I love S30V. I like a lot of steels. So I like all steels except for like 3. So all steels are great except for like 3. And then it's just some I like more than others. So I'm thinking about getting that PM2 in crew wear because I like crew wear and I don't have any crew wear, but I've sharpened so much of it. I've tested it and Spyderco, shout out to Spyderco for doing such a damn good job on their steels. I'm going to scream about it again. If you in the chat right now want to know what does a good heat treated steel feel like compared to other steels, get a Spyderco. Spyderco is running an optimal heat treat range on all their steels. They're doing a phenomenal job. They have all different kinds of steels from S45, S30V, S110V, crew wear. You can get crew wear right now. You can get a Mannix and S30V. Yeah, S30V for like 130 right now. So they have so many different steels, and they're all ran at a good heat treat. Their K390 is amazing, but you can't get their K390 like regularly, but they do such a good job with it. But the crew wear, though, you can get right now, and man, that's some shit, man. They do such a good job. S110V, it's that shit will hold an edge forever. You got a crew wear PM2 for sale, still factory edge? I'll take it. Contact me. I'll take it. How much are we talking? You might be trying to burn me. Is it the micarta one? Is it the one with this micarta or similar micarta? Everybody's going to ask. That's the CME from OCD for EDC. You just glue it on. It's very reliable, very easy. You don't have to take apart your knife or anything. It's easy to put on. You put it on right at your own home. He sends it to you. And yeah, it makes it to where you can be a lefty and still fidget. It basically puts a button on your compression lock. S90V is amazing. Their CTS XHP got some on me right now. Love it, man. They do such a good job with their steels, man. So not only are they in, like Brian said, other companies are using 1-2 steels it at an optimal range, even though that's the only steel that they use, right? So they only use a couple steels and they're not even running at an optimal range. Spyderco is doing like 50 steels. I don't know if that's true, but they're using a lot of steels and they're running them all at an optimal range with a good heat treat. So shout out to fucking Spyderco for doing the damn deal. I've been saying it for a long time and I've been screaming about, man, every knife I test from Spyderco, the heat treat has been superior to every other steel or every other company that's using the same steel. Even when I did the Magna Cut, that was the best Magna Cut I've tested production wise. Okay. Obviously, Brian from Transparent Knives, we won't count that because that's a custom heat treat. But for production heat treat, that mule has been the best. Yeah, sorry. This is the Spyderco Slish Buoy, but this is the original one in CTS XHP. So you know what, kind of, this kind of pisses me off. They said when they came out with these that everybody was going to be able to get another one because remember, if you guys don't remember, they came out with some of these like last year, but it was an M390. People were upset that it was M390 and not the CTS XHP, but supposedly they were going to continue to make them, and that anybody who wanted one was going to have the ability to get one eventually because they were going to continue to make them. They only did one batch of them. It's like, why? Why? Maybe it was a couple years ago. I don't know. Maybe something to do with the vid. I don't know, but it seemed like they only did one batch of them and then they stopped. Too bad Spyderco can't keep up with the marketing products. Love my Spydercos. I love them too, man. I love them too. I think Spyderco just kills it. Their M4 is great. They're everything. I can name all their steels. They're all great. Spyderco is also running the Blade HQ knives in M4. They honestly have every steel going at some point somewhere. That is so true. And like I said, at an optimal range with a great quality. You can basically, if you get it. And another thing, they're sharpening their knives from the factory at a good angle. What other company is doing that? What other company is running an optimal range heat treat, good quality heat treat, because that's two different things, and sharpening their edge bevels at a good angle? 15 degrees per side, and I think they do a micro bevel at like 22 degrees. Now, that might not be all their knives. Some of them might be ran at like 17 degrees per side. Some of them might be 20, but majority of them, like all the PM2s and things, they're all ran at like 15 degrees per side with a micro bevel. Let me show you guys this edge. This is my K390, and damn it, is it sharp. This is like you just barely, it'll get you. It'll get you. Let's check it out. Probably the camera's probably not even going to pick it up. Come on, camera. It is a mirror edge on my K390 because I think K390 takes a nasty sharp mirror edge. It takes whatever edge you want to put on it. And to me, it holds it great. It holds the bite really good. Unlike, say, Magna Cut, which will take a very similar polished edge, but once you start using it, it starts getting slick quick. K390 for me, it holds that bite. And same thing with Crewwear. That's what I love about Crewwear. Crewwear holds a fine edge for such a long time. That is the beautiful thing about Crewwear, is that it takes a ridiculous fine edge and holds it for so long. Some steels don't hold a fine edge for very long, but their working edge is really long. And then some steels, it's just there's so many different steel and so many different good qualities or great qualities to each steel. Nice. Good for you, Maurice. I love it when I hear people are getting the hang of sharpening. Edge maintenance is like so important. Like, even if you're not good at doing a full-blown sharpening, if you can just be good at honing and stropping, you can go so far with that. So far with just edge maintenance and stropping. So far. Like, you can keep an edge going for an incredible long time. Put it this way. It was a long time ago when I sharpened this, and I've been maintaining it this whole time. Shit out of this. And it is still just like so nasty sharp. But when I use it, I tune it up on a strop. I don't think I've had to hone it. And if I did, I can't remember. But I can maintain it with a strop. But this one is about due for a new edge. It is an M390. It still has a lot of bite. Most people would say, why? Like, it's perfectly fine. Um, it's about due for a hone at the very least. It still has a lot of bite though. Um, anyways, that was Two Sons M390. S right, my pair of 3 Maximate has kept its edge forever. Yeah, it does. That's the thing. Maximate keeps its edge forever. It just doesn't hold a fine edge. So a fine edge meaning like if you polished the edge. If you polished the edge that has that really crazy bite to it. So what Maximate does is it holds a working edge forever. So like the edge that'll cut paper, right? So like the difference between shaving and whittling hair, basically, between a hair whittling edge and paper cutting edge. The paper cutting edge will last forever. The hair whittling edge won't last very long. That's the way it goes. Guys, how is that CTS XHP from Cybergo? Amazing. My experience with it, the best XHP I've ever tried ever is right here. And I've tried custom XHP. Still didn't compare. Did not compare, not even a little bit, to Spyderco's. Now, I'm not saying everybody's will be like mine, because I have other Spyderco's XHP. None of them are as good as this one, but they're all good. They're all really good. But this one, though, they spit some magic on this one. But either way, man, all their XHP is good. They do a good job with it. Theo, I think K390 wins in edge retention, but isn't corrosion resistant. Yeah, it's not corrosion resistant. That's the thing. You do have to maintain it, but look at this. Mine looks beautiful. I mean, you see a little tiny, well, it's not clean, but there's a little patina kind of here and there, but for the most part, but not really though. I mean, I don't have so there's a spot here on the spine. That's not corrosion. That's something else, but still perfectly clean. That's not corrosion up there, guys. And I just keep it clean. That's it. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Keep it oiled. You're good. Yeah, like Harry Potter shit. I don't know what they did that day, what type of wizardry they did, but they did something. Bang gang. What's really going on up in here? What's up, Rocky Mountain Bear? What's up, brother? Love my LMAX Guardian Tactical Recon, but I know to send it to your channel or Crazy Sharp. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, LMAX, that's another one. LMAX is really, really good. I love LMAX. That's another one that's a really good steal. We're gonna sling a story. I might need some help. I didn't write down a story. What time is it? Are we even to story time yet? Oh yeah, we are. Holy shit. We need a story. So I need some tips on a story. I only wrote down 5 things, guys. I was rushing my ass off, dude. The past 2-3 days have been crazy. We had that knife sale. I had to mail right. Oh yeah, everybody who bought a knife, your knife's on the way. Oh, I do. Before we do this, we're going to do cologne of the day. I want to do that. Because I do want to keep you guys smelling good. So we're going to do cologne of the day really quick. So, I have a few new colognes. Remember when I was telling you guys about getting the sample sizes? This is what I was talking about. You can get one of these, especially if it's really expensive. Maybe you get one of these to try out for the first time, but for a few more dollars, you can get one of these. It's kind of like a lipstick bottle, but it's, it's cologne. Really good. And then you can try out, whatever cologne. So you guys remember last week we talked a little bit about this, this Giorgio Armani. This is the clear stuff. So this was their original stuff. Now, here's another bottle, the black bottle. This is their second one or whatever it is, but it's in the black bottle. Really, really good stuff. This stuff is a lot different, though. Completely different. So this is more of the fresh and clean smell. This one's a lot more of a masculine smell. Almost. So there's an undertone and an overtone to every cologne, right? So the overtone has somewhat, don't take this the wrong way, somewhat of like a spicy big, you guys know Big Red, you know, the bubblegum Big Red, somewhat of a hint of that. Not like in a bad way, in a good way. So it has a hint of like Big Red spice to it. And then like the undertone has it's definitely a masculine smell, but still has a nice fresh scent on top of it. Yeah, very clean smell. The undertone is going to be like a leathery wood smell. So you got that spicy Big Red on top with a nice clean scent too. Very clean. So this is definitely good in like an office or like this is 100% probably what I would wear if I was like dressing up or anything, but you can wear it anytime. Any time of the day. This is fantastic. Any time of the year too. This would go good in summer or winter. Like I said, clean smell. You do have the undertones like later on in the day as it's wearing off. You're going to get a little bit more of the woodsy, the clean woodsy, leathery smell from it. Almost little bit of a tobacco scent at the end. Not like actual tobacco, but it's like it's called tobacco. Really good shit though. Not cheap though. Not cheap. Now, last week we did talk about, and I'm going to go through this quick because I know a lot of you guys don't really give a shit about this. But last week we did talk about the Nautica Voyage, right? So I brought it out. The Nautica Voyage. This was my all-time most complimented cologne right here. And I'm talking about like panty dropping cologne right here. This stuff is it's a very, very fresh, almost deodorant, fresh out of the shower, clean, watery scent. It's really good though. It's the type that, like, this is the one I went into a cologne store. 3 girls were working behind the counter, and I asked all of them, what's your favorite cologne in here? They all grabbed this. Now, this was years ago. This has been out for a while, but it's a cheap cologne. This whole bottle right here is like $30. So compared to this, which is like 100 or if not more. So very good scent. It's more of a summer scent, but you can wear it all year round, but I wouldn't recommend it so much in the winter, but definitely a summer scent. More of a beach flavor. Like if you can get you in that mindset. Definitely a good, like, going out clubbing. Girls love it. 100% they love this. Like I said, it's got a real clean scent. Now, if you're an older guy, you might not like it. It might be a little too fresh and clean for you. It might be a little too I'm not going to use the word boyish because that would be insulting to it. It's definitely a little bit more of like I said, a real good clean, shampooy, deodorant smelling, like fresh and clean, fresh out of the shower, watery smell. Has, I think, grapefruit or something in it. That scent on top of it. So, um, if you're an older gentleman, I would definitely recommend something more like this. Not that the younger gentlemen shouldn't wear this, because you should. But I got a couple other ones here, but I'm going to save those for a different live. But really quick, another really good one, David Beckham. David Beckham, this thing is fire. We got a lot of good ones here. Anyways, all right, let's get to a story. So what kind of story should we talk about? Hey, Jared, do you know the grit of the finer plates on the work sharp field sharpener off the top of your head? It's like a 800, I think, something like that. Because the one side is like a 300, and then the flip side, if it's a 600, it's a really fine 600. And even if it's a 600 after, which I don't think it is, I think it's more like 1,000 grit. So between 600 and 1,000 grit, it's a fine grit for sure. And after you've used it 5-6 times, it's gonna break into a really fine grit. So it could even be up to like 1,200 grit, but I think it's between 800 and 1,000 is what I think it is. When you first get it, it might be more like a 600, but it'll break in very quickly. Anyone know and discount codes? I don't think they have discount codes. I don't know though. Tell the story about your dad and the karate teacher. All right, I'll do that one. I'll do that one. I wear testosterone, the fragrance of a real man. Well, that's what cologne helps bring out, that testosterone. You can't just be running running around all jacked up on testosterone. You got to throw a little good smell on them pheromones so that the ladies like it. All right. Lacey, if you want another deadly one for us girls, CK Obsession. It's been around for a long time on some, and I repeat, some men. It's amazing. Yeah. That one I don't know about, but thank you. Another one that's really good and you can watch. Um, I'll just show you guys it. It is now this one has been tested. You can watch so many videos where they'll take like 5 scent smells and then ask like 10 girls what they like the best, or they'll take two really popular smells and like this outwins it almost every time. It does win it every time by far. Like out of like 10 girls, one girl will pick the other scent, but they all pick this one. And that is the Chanel Blue, the Blue de Chanel. I'll just show it to you really quick. Come on. This one, the Chanel Blue. This stuff, I got it because of all the reviews from girls. So, and guess what? I did Kara. I made her do a test. She didn't know what it was, and I gave her 3 smells. And she picked it too. So, it does say something. I think it's good. I think it's a good clean scent. But for some reason, though, girls really pick it up. Now, any smell, though, this is the weird thing, is that any smell in the air is way different on you. So, like, the same scent you could smell in the air, you'd be like, I don't know. But when you put it on yourself, so different. So different. Because now, like, even right there, holy shit. I did not smell. I just got that stuff. So, in the air, I did not smell almost like a grape right off the pop, but then it goes right into like a really clean scent. But anyways, really good stuff though. And like I said, the girls love it. At least by test, they love it. Rex 45 is high HRC tool steel. S45 is a stainless steel that has a lower HRC cap. Rex 45 is a very wear resistant and capable of being very hard tool steel. Absolutely. Lacey knows her shit. Lacey definitely knows her shit. Real tip, women love handmade charcoal soap. Yeah, I got some upstairs. I don't know why I had to tell you upstairs, but I got some in my shower, some charcoal hand soap, and it's actually handmade stuff. It's pretty good. I like it. But I think I need to get a different one. The one I have has a little bit of an incense smell that I don't like. But it's still okay. It's still good. I'm not saying it's bad. But let's do this story. So this is a story about when my dad shot my karate teacher. So let me back up. So my dad actually knew my karate teacher when I was a kid. They were friends, like really, good friends, whatever. And dude's whole family was in martial arts competitions. Like they were badasses. Like, even now, like I said, the whole family was. So like my old, sensei, his nephew was like, what did he get? He got state, in the karate tournaments. And then now he's teaching and training MMA. I actually went to an MMA match where his fighter, just dominated. He was really good. But anyways, the point is that they're still doing shit. And, so it would have been my sensei's brother's son, his nephew. He actually knocked my tattoo artist's teeth out. So put it that way. And he's not even a big dude or anything. And my tattoo artist was a big dude. Not that matters. Anyways, so just going back, I'm just trying to give you a little history. Their whole family's been in this for generations and generations. So back in the day, they and my dad, they had a place or whatever. My back. And they were partying, and my dad had to get up for work in the morning. My dad was probably doing construction, I'm guessing. I'm not sure where he was working. Maybe he was working at the bar, because my dad also was a bouncer at a bar for a while. I'm not sure. Maybe I think it was before that though. Anyways, the point is that they were doing a party. They were like throwing a party, and it was loud as fuck. And my dad was like mad because he had to get up. So he, like, yelled it out. As they were partying and shit, he yelled out that the next motherfucker that wakes him up, he's gonna shoot. And so the party's going or whatever. My dad's trying to sleep. And I guess a pie or something like that. Remember, I wasn't there, but like a pie or something like that hit my dad. And, because the fucking party's going. And so my dad got up and fucking got a gun. And I mean, he had already warned whoever it was going to be that he was going to shoot. But the person he wound up shooting was actually my sensei, my karate teacher. And he shot him right in the thigh. And I actually seen the scar, when I was in martial arts and everything, but shot the guy in the thigh, fucked his ass up. And I'm sure they brought him to the hospital or whatever. But I guess that ended that party really quick, right? He wasn't bullshitting. So then years later, he was my karate teacher, and still had the scar on his thigh, because I remember seeing it. And yeah, that's really the whole story. I mean, I don't know how much more I can get into, but yeah. Oh, I love it. My favorite cologne is Hooker Spit. Makes for great mouthwash too. What? We took a home test this morning. I'm finally testing negative, but hers come back positive. You got that damn vid? Pussy. Yeah, no, he was a crazy one for sure. Yeah, I got endless stories with him. I actually had a story I was gonna tell, but you guys gotta remember, man, like, I gotta be careful with some of the stories I tell. So the story I thought about telling, I thought about just like telling like the beginning of it. Um, but then I thought about it and I was like, man, I shouldn't tell that story. And that's usually what happens a lot of times. Like, I think it's such a good idea, and then it comes time to tell it, and I'm like, you know what, that might be problematic. But he's passed away now, so, but still though, sometimes, especially if I'm involved with it, I got to be careful. Um, my teacher was actually part of his lineage, Maurice. Oh, Maurice, good for you, man. I'm happy to hear that. You're losing weight. You must have a bunch of hookers. Good for you though, man. I'm happy to hear. Happy to hear. That's a secret that will stick with you. If you know, you know. I thought I was tough until I was put in handcuffs by a woman. I realized tough don't mean shit. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how she put you in cuffs. I would say in most cases, if a woman puts you in cuffs, it's because you let her. But I guess it does depend. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh yeah, I read that one. I already had it. What? Where'd it go? What crimes have you committed? I've committed every crime. There isn't much I haven't committed, to be honest. Um, what crimes have I been caught for? Not very many. So thank God. But most crimes I've been busted for. are all most slap on the wrists, misdemeanors, but then I got a couple felonies. But yeah, I've committed a lot of crimes. I not happy about it. Oh, here he is. What's up, Brian? I'm jealous. I want to lose weight, but I'm lazy and I refuse to give up ice cream. Give that shit up, Brian. Give it up. Give it up. Or get like protein ice cream or something. Get a healthy ice cream. If you can get something that's like close enough that'll satisfy you, do it for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you will start enjoying it. You won't even want the other stuff. Just do it. Do it, man. You'll thank me later. Thank me later. Telling you, if you can get yourself, it could, because there's something so rewarding about it. And I'm not trying to, like, anybody who do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. But I'm just saying, like, there's something so rewarding after you really put in some work on yourself and you can start seeing the results, and it's so rewarding. Especially like diet wise, because diet is tough, man. It is tough. And like, but once you start doing it and you've done it for a couple weeks, there's something about it. And I'm going to tell you guys a trick here in a second. But there's something to it that makes you inherently want to keep doing it because you've already put in work. And like, working out is a huge one. If you exercise, you don't want to ruin your exercise. If you're more likely to get on a diet and stick to a healthy diet, because if you're exercising and not taking care of your meals, you might as well be running in circles. It doesn't make sense. If you can't count your calories and know your intake and outtake and all that stuff of just calories, calories in, calories out, and having somewhat of a healthy diet. Like, I'm not saying you have to eat super clean, but I'm just saying be cognitive of what you're eating. And if you exercise and work out, you are going to pay attention, because you're not going to say, man, I didn't bust my ass for an hour today for nothing. I want to make sure it works. But one trick that I can tell you guys that worked for me so good. And listen, might not have ever been obese, okay? But my diet was fucked up. Like, I mean, like, beyond fucked up. Like when I was younger, I ate pretty good. But like, it got to the point to where, like, especially when I was on drugs and shit, man, I didn't care what I ate. Like, it didn't matter. Like, you have such a sugar craving, it's really bad. Anyways, but what worked for me really good, and maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but you got to get your mental voice. It has to do with your mental voice. So every time you see soda, okay, pop. That's how we call it in the North. Pop. I know you guys in the South don't like the word pop, but soda pop, when you see soda, say poison in your head. Just say poison. Every time you see it, poison, poison, poison. Just say that in your head. When you see things with high sugar, say poison in your head. Just do it. Keep doing it. Try doing that for a couple weeks, and what'll wind up happening is you'll see it one day, and it'll just be an instinct. You'll see it as poison. It'll literally look like poison to you, and you won't want to drink it. You won't want to eat it. You'll literally see it, and you'll see, like, you'll be walking down the street and somebody will be chugging a soda, and you'll walk by and your mind will just be like, he's drinking poison. Like, that's the way your mind will start working, because you've convinced yourself it actually is poison. But you got to really think it. You got to really think it. And it makes you think a certain way, and you'll refuse it. You will refuse it, because if I told you right now to drink bleach, would you do it? I can tell you it tastes good. This bleach tastes fucking delicious. Would you drink it? Shut up, Maurice. Everybody else, would you drink it? Probably not, right? So the thing is that you don't see it like that, even though it can be. So just when you walk past it, when you see it on the counter, you see somebody else drink it, just repeat in your head, poison, poison, poison. You will eventually see it as poison. And like, that's how it is for me. Like, when I walk past it, when I see it, my mind automatically says poison, and I won't drink it because of that. Not saying I don't enjoy a good cold root beer every now and then. And I do have my Red Bulls. You guys know that. I love my fucking Red Bulls. But compared to before, Not even close. Like, I rarely drink any soda. Rarely. I drink water and coffee and my Red Bulls. But I try, yeah, not that Coke, Nick. Um but I try to drink certain things, like first thing in the morning I try to drink water before my coffee, then I'll drink my coffee. But I try to do things in a way where I'm constantly flushing my system with water. But I do drink a lot of coffee and probably entirely way too much. So that's something I got to work on, right? Um, I know that's crazy to me that you guys do that. It's like, hey, you want a Coke? And I'll say, yeah. And you'd be like, what kind? There's only one kind. It's Coke. All right. And you guys would be like, oh, no, you want Dr. Pepper? You want a root beer? You want a Mountain Dew? None of those are Coke. You guys are weird down south. That happened to me in Alabama. That happened to me in Alabama. And I couldn't grasp it. I couldn't get my hand around. Like, what are you talking about? And I got into an argument. Like, because it's like, that's Dr. Pepper. That's not Coke. Why are you calling it a Coke? You asked me if I wanted a Coke. Why'd you bring me a Dr. Pepper? You guys are weird. What the fuck is a soda? It's the 20s people will drink bleach. It's the You want a Coke or what? Yeah, what kind? What? It's Coke. Like, Coke is Coca-Cola. Dr. Pepper's Dr. Pepper. Mountain Dew. Like, if I asked somebody, I would say, hey, you guys want some soda? That's how I would say it. And then if you said yeah, and I had multiple kinds, I would say, what kind? Right? If I had that poison in my house, that's how I would do it. Right? But but no, or I would say, like, if I only had one kind, I would just say, hey, you want a Dew? You want a Mountain Dew? You want a Sprite? You want a Dr. Pepper? Something like that. Mike Tyson said the best thing to drink is water. Well, yeah, of course, water. 70% of your body is water. So, of course, that's the best thing to drink is water. Tea is really good for you, too. Sugarless tea, green tea, black teas. That's really good for you. There's a bunch of things that are really good for you. Drink even coffee to some extent is good for your. I think it's your kidneys or your liver. One of the two. It's good for, but obviously not with a whole bunch of sugar and turning it into a big candy cane. But just coffee itself. Um, but that doesn't mean you drink a shit ton of it. But a cup a day is not so bad. But there's a lot of things that can be good for you. I had this one stuff. I can't think of the name of it now, but it came in a powder and you mixed it with milk and it was really healthy for you. It was really good. It tasted kind of like similar to like nutmeg and cinnamon in a cup of milk, mixed up. It was similar to that, similar to like hot chocolate, cinnamon, and nutmeg together. But I thought it was really good. Coffee is life. I'm doing life, and coffee's my partner. Moderation's definitely the key, Nick. Yeah, and when you do things in moderation and you haven't done it for a long time, you don't feel so bad when you do it. It doesn't it's when you don't stop it and you're overdoing it and it's always in the back of your head. What's this doing to my liver? What's this doing to my kidneys? What's my stomach look like on the inside? And you're constantly thinking like that. That's when, when you start thinking like that, that's when it's time to start the poison treatment, and I'm not perfect, guys. I'm just trying, right? I'm just doing my best to try to eat as healthy as possible and drink as healthy as possible. Especially like if I want to like say like with like alcohol and stuff like that, like I don't really drink, right? But on occasions I'll drink. There's nothing. It's not like that I can't handle my liquor or that I'm not good at drinking. It's just I just choose not to, right? But But sometimes I do, when I'm out with my family, I'll drink with them, or maybe at Blade Show, I'll be drinking, of course I will be, but I don't do it every day. So when I do it, it's even more fun. And it doesn't cost me as much because I get drunker quicker. It's as addictive as heroin. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say as addictive as heroin. If you've never gotten if you've never sweated through the blankets with massive diarrhea and cold and hot sweats all night, trembling with you know trembling seizure like shaking through your fucking body, if you're not willing to go and rob somebody for it, then I wouldn't say it's as addictive as heroin. If you've never went and put a gun to someone's head over it, eh. Same with me, Maurice. Same with me. Moderation is key. Get your taste back. Yeah, Cole. Yeah, I heard that the taste thing. I mean, I never had it, guys. I never had that shit. I'm not a pussy, so I never had it. So I don't know about it. But yeah, I my sister, she said she lost her taste for a couple weeks. I think it was something like that, for like 2 weeks. She is fine, but she just lost her taste. Um, Same thing with my nieces and nephews and shit. Oh, we will be. We will be. I plan on having fun. But that's what I mean. Like, I deserve it. I don't want to say it like that. Like, I deserve it. But it won't be a regret, right? You don't wake up in the morning regretting your actions, You're like, damn, that was a good time last night. That's when you know you're having fun. Kidney stones suck. I watched my dad go through them. Yeah, I watched my dad go through that shit. I know. Yeah, I used to bleed his bladder daily, and the stones that would come out of him, they were like jagged little crystals. For those of you who don't know, my dad was a paraplegic, so I used to have to cath him and shit. Give me your coffee, or I will shoot. Yeah. I do know. I am going to say caffeine is extremely addictive. The reason why we don't know about it is because it's in everything. It's in everything. So you don't know because you've never experienced not being on it. If I took it away from you, yeah, most likely you are going to be a cranky, ornery bastard with headaches, and you're going to be stressed out. You're probably not going to be able to do anything for a couple days. It will probably be pretty debilitating, I imagine. Not as much as like heroin. I know that for sure, but it will be debilitating. The problem is that it's in everything, so it's very difficult to ever experience it. And if you did experience it and you did force yourself not to, you would actually feel the effects from it. Me, I can't feel the effects of caffeine. So what caffeine does, it actually doesn't give you energy. It actually suppresses the thing in your head, or the chemical that makes you how's it go? It actually suppresses the part of your body from getting tired, but it actually doesn't give you energy. It stops you from something like that. Anyways, the point is though, is that if you did actually stop, yes, you would definitely go through withdrawals. It's just that, so many things have it that they've literally gotten us. That's how, I mean, you got to imagine, along with the pharmaceutical company, the food companies and all that shit, they know what they're doing. They know how to get your ass addicted. They know to put some sugar in that shit, caffeine in that shit, because they're, it's just legal cocaine. It's a good way to get you addicted. With me though, it wakes me up in a way because I'm drinking something hot, but I can drink coffee right before bed and go to sleep. It doesn't do anything for me, like energy wise. But I say that, but I do it all the time. So, like I said, if I didn't do it for 2 weeks, I would totally feel the effects. I've had gallstones and removed the gallbladder and asked the nurse there at the hospital, and they said sugar iced tea cause kidney stones 100% guaranteed. Tim, oh, that's not Timmy. Witnessed a lot of people detox from alcohol. It's one of the worst things to detox from. Yeah, for sure. I have too. I've seen a lot of people detox off of that. The one good thing is that you can take a Valium. Valiums actually will prevent you from going through seizures and things like that. So if you are detoxing from alcohol, you take Valium. Like if you go to jail, right? If you get arrested, I don't know about in every state. In my state, if you get arrested, you tell them you're addicted to alcohol, and they'll give you Valiums. It's like they have to, because otherwise you can have a seizure, and they don't want you having a seizure. So it's a good way, to make sure you get Valiums. But that is a great way to prevent going through withdrawals from alcohol. That's the thing is with dope, you don't have things like that. Like they do have things, but they don't allow it in like jails and stuff like that. They make you suffer. They used to, at least maybe in other states, but not here, not in this state anymore. They took it away. Um, but yeah, better just not be on it. You called them subs. You must know about them. Talking to me, I do know about them very well. Alcohol and benzos are the only thing that will kill your ass quick, cold turkey. Well, what winds up killing you from like heroin and stuff is dehydration. You puke, you won't drink anything because you can't hold anything down, so you're puking and shitting at the same time. So what winds up happening is you dehydrate. That can happen. Alcohol is the one that can kill you the fastest because you can go through seizures and things like that. Both are horrifying. Both of them are horrifying. I do think that because of the volume thing, alcohol's a lot easier. But and I've watched both. Watched both through with multiple different people, and I would say heroin is worse because of that reason. But not taking anything away from alcohol. Alcohol is just as bad, and if not worse for some people. And yes, you can die from it. But either way, even if you don't die from either one, you feel like you're gonna fucking die, and there's a big mental part to it because your mental health, your brain is not functioning correctly. So you have how's it go? The hormones in your body to the way your brain is functioning and firing off. It's all misfiring basically. And your hormones are like this. So it makes sure. I remember one time, I guess here's, so there's this thing. It's called, well, at least that's what they were calling it at the time. They were calling it cotton fever, right? So cotton fever is like when you're shooting dope. You, I know now what it is. It's like it's like an infection that you get in like the blood really quick, and it feels like the worst withdrawals in the world, even though like you're not withdrawing. But there was a rumor, I remember back then, like people actually thought it came from cotton, but it doesn't. It's just from dirty shit. Anyways, the point is that I one time got cotton fever. And even though I wasn't technically dope sick, but I went through dope sickness, my entire back, you could watch it. It was going like this. I was trembling. My whole body was trembling so bad. I'm dripping sweat, but I'm freezing. I mean, like I'm literally freezing to death, freezing. I cannot get warm. And it feels like I'm laying in snow, ice snow. And I feel like I'm going to die. My back and body was trembling so bad. You could look at my back and you could just see this all up and down my back. My body was twitching all over my back and it was painful. It was fucking painful. But it was because, think about like if you're cold outside right now, naked, you'd be trembling, right? It was like that. But I was trembling so hard that I was trembling like down to the bone, where my internal parts of my body was trembling, not just like me shaking right here. It's like as if like it was uncontrollable, almost like like nerves going off or something. And it was so painful because my back is just going pop, 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 all over my back, and there was nothing I could do. And this went on for like 4, 5, 6 hours straight, and it was so painful. And I know 4, 5, 6 hours doesn't sound like shit, but imagine right now being in the freezing cold snow, going outside naked and laying in it for 6 hours. So, and I'm obviously still remembering it now. So that's what it was like, except for I'm sweating. um, When I kicked a 13-year habit, I used Coke to keep dopamine levels up for a week, flu symptoms up for a week or two, the restless leg syndrome for like 9 days, took over a year to feel normal. Yep, absolutely. But yeah, man, definitely. There's little things and little tricks you can do to help yourself along the way. I know I'm not going to say what some things are, but like there are certain drugs you can do to help yourself kick certain habits. But yeah, but you just don't want to kick one habit for another. You want to make sure you're just using it for the time being. But yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. You convinced me not to get into that shit with Imagine laying in the snow. Yeah, you don't want to for sure. You don't want to for sure. And that wasn't even a withdrawal. That was cotton fever. It's different. It's not even, I wasn't even withdrawing. That was an infection in my bloodstream and my body trying to kick an infection that's in my bloodstream. That's what that was. I only did pharma drugs. Well, besides MDMA and Coke. I've had cotton fever before. My friend sit on top of me and wrapped me in blankets. It sucked. Yeah, yeah. I've had it a couple times. That time was the worst. So I think anybody, if you're a dolphin, you eventually wind up getting it. It's just when. It's just when. But that time was the absolute worst. Usually like it's like something that lasts like 2 hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours, and you're just trembling, you're freezing cold, you cannot get warm. Taking a hot bath really, really helps. It can actually like damn near fix it. But that one, no, there was no fixing it. Like it was bad. It was so bad. So bad. I can't even explain how bad it was. It was painfully bad. Like I said, my body was just, it was like if somebody's seen you, they'd want to take you to the emergency room right now. Like that wouldn't even make sense to them. Like you're shaking so bad. Like it's crazy. All this stuff is from too many opiates in this country. Yeah, facts. Facts. Never have, never will. After 24 years, I need every dose in the bottle. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm curious. I've been on some form of Adderall every single day for 24 years now. I'm afraid of what would happen when I try to kick it or decide to stop. I would say if you were going to, don't stop. I would say wean. Don't stop. That would be dumb. I would say take a tiny, 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 tiny chip off of each pill and just slowly but surely, after like 2 weeks, take a little bit bigger chip off. After a few weeks, take another big chip off. Then after maybe like 6 months, right? Because you don't want to feel it. So after like 6 months, you're down to a half a pill less than you were. After another 6 months, like let's say if you're, I don't know how many you're on, or what milligram or anything, but you see where I'm going with this. That would be the way to do it if you're going to do it. Don't just stop. That'd be dumb. What do CBD gummies do to you? Nothing. Make you relaxed. Relax your muscles and stuff. It's not like an effect in your brain or anything. You don't get high or nothing. It's just more of a relaxing thing for like your muscles. Like if you work out a lot or if you're anxious, it's more of an internal relaxation. I've never really done it, but I know lots of people who do. But my like even my mom, like she sometimes does it. But it's not like it's not like a drug like that. It's different. You can't stop cold turkey, need to lower dose over time, like Jared said. Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way healthy to do anything like that. Like I would never like if you went to a doctor and said that, they would look at you like you were crazy. They'd say, "What the fuck is wrong with you? You did what?" Like when you hear cold turkey, it's like, "What? Are you stupid?" Because it can fuck you up and it can make you wind up doing, like just going into it worse. And then your chances of getting off something after doing something like that and going back is far, far less. So it's better to just do a slow taper. Slow taper. Make sure you don't feel nothing. You don't feel nothing. If you have to do it over 2 years, do it over 2 years. If it takes a year, make it take a year. But just do it. It's such a slow taper that you never even notice. That's how to do it. That is how you succeed. I don't give a shit how long it would take, as long as you are heading in that direction. Yeah, exactly. That's so true, Ruben. Yeah, bad for your heart, bad for so many things. Your blood pressure, your anxiety, stress levels, heart, just everything. Like hormone levels. That's one of the worst. When your hormone levels are like this, where it's like just firing off weird. It will put you. That's when motherfuckers wind up killing people because you have rage, and like I remember going through withdrawals and my hormones being like just, and I know now that that's what it was. My brain, the what's it called, the toxin, not toxins, the chemicals, sorry, the chemicals in your brain are not firing off correctly, right? And then my hormones were all over the place. I This is weird. I know it sounds crazy, but I wanted to punch through glass. Like I wanted so bad to just put my hand through things because that's how much rage I had in my body. I was so angry and so furious that I just wanted to hit things. And I remember in jail fucking punching brick walls because my shit was so fucked up. And literally punching windows and things like that. Because like I said, it's crazy. Then, when you get to a certain point, like, it goes the opposite way, then you start getting emotional because like I said, hormones are all over the place and you start realizing some of the things you've done and it really starts catching up to you. Um, yeah, it's a journey for sure when you get off of shit. Withdrawals off any drug suck. Even antidepressants are terrible if you go cold turkey for sure. Fuck it, yeah. Antidepressants just the same thing. Same thing. Anything is going to be bad because any type of drug, one, messes with the chemicals in your brain, and two, messes with your hormones. So when you start getting natural hormones back and your hormones are firing off weird and your chemicals in your brain are all, because in order for your chemicals in your brain to function correctly, even though they're not, right? But at the point to where it feels healthy, it's not, but it actually makes you feel normal. But when you take that away, now like your chemicals in your brain are fucked up. But that's why somebody can justify doing something messed up. It's because the chemicals in their brain are so messed up that they can actually justify it in their head, even though that same person not on drugs would never do that. Like they wouldn't even be caught doing it. Like they would be the last person to do that. Put them on drugs because it's just like anything, it's like if you take somebody, right? Anybody in here will probably say you wouldn't be a cannibal, right? None of you are cannibals, right? None of you are cannibals. But I guarantee we go out on a frozen mountain and there's some dead bodies laying around. You're starving to death. You suddenly became a cannibal. When you're starving to the point to where you're on your last day of survival, you're going to be happy to be a cannibal. I promise you that. I used to smoke cigarettes, I stopped, and vape. Alcohol gets me in trouble, so I rarely drink anymore. Hey, Lacey, are you going to Blade Show? I'm out with the girls every now and then, and I mean like for 1 or 2 times a year max. That's how I do it. I go out with my family 2-3 times a year, maybe 4 max. And I enjoy it. I have such a great time. I love it. I love it. So, but I love it because I don't do it every month or two. I do it every 3 or 4 months. Go hang out with the fam, have a good time, throw down, have some drinks, and then I don't regret it. But are you going to Blade Show? Thank you for your service, Tom. Tom's like, everybody's dying before me in the wilderness. I'm a fucking veteran in the woods. I've been microdosing KPL for a month. My veins are just. Do it slowly. Do it slowly. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Microdosing the KPL. Any mind altering drugs gradually quit. Yeah, for sure. Especially if it's microdosing KPL. Gradually quit that stuff. I see Lefty EDC, he puts it on his fingers and rubs it in like a lotion. That's how he does it. That's how he gets his microdosing. Addicted. It took me almost 2 years on buprenorphines and subs to taper off and be totally clean. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. But that's how I think you should do it. I think that rapid quit in a rehab center is the dumbest thing to do. I really do. I think going there for a week, getting on Suboxone or getting on Suboxone or anything like that, or buprenorphine or whatever, I think that's the dumbest way to do it. I think you should be on a long-term dose until your hormones are leveled off and really good. You're eating healthy, you're working out. Then and your chemicals are all better in your brain, then at that point, and you're on a clean line of a dose that works every day for you, then start slowly tapering off, which might take a year, might take 2 years, might take 3 years, might take 5 years. Who gives a fuck? Point is that you're not fucking, beating people's asses on the street for money and fucking robbing people and doing dumb things, and you can function throughout society, make money, improve yourself, and you'll want to quit. You'll want to, because like I said, your hormones and mental health will be so good that you won't want to stay on it, and you won't have a problem doing a taper. But when you rapidly take somebody off, they'll be on the streets next week. I've never seen personally, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying nobody's ever done it, because I know that people have done it. I've just never known any of them. But everybody I've known that's went into rehab and went on the 1 week detox, they all, once they got out, they were right back on the streets. And a lot of them die that way because they wind up with a low tolerance, and then they think they still have their same tolerance as before. I've known a lot of people that have died that way, to be honest. Do the KPL with knives and your veins won't hurt. It lubes you up. KPL does a number on the cerebral cortex. Not losing everything you have. Yeah, but you know what? Every single drug fiend out there is too poor to be doing the drugs that they're doing. And that's why, they start doing bad things. Jared, I emailed Kara on Tuesday. I will let her know if I'm going to make Blade Show. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to make it. Nice. Awesome. That's badass. Hell yeah. Hopefully I see you there. Hopefully you are able to make it. I got the The tie mini pry and pocket clip from Big Idea was a big mistake, started my tie addiction. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Welcome. Welcome down the rabbit hole. I spend way less on methadone than I was on. Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, if you're in a methadone clinic or something, or even on like in a Suboxone treatment center, you're gonna spend 100 times less, 1,000 times less. And it actually will work in your you can get your hormones right. You can get your like I said, the toxins in your brain, or not toxins, chemicals in your brains right. So you can actually be a functioning part of society, so, and then after, like I said, after you're on a good program, your program's good, you're really healthy and everything's going really good, and you are actually thinking about, your body being healthy and everything, then you can start you know tapering. Cole says, I have noticed my heart runs a lot smoother since the KPL dosing. No more lubed up, just smooth pumping action. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that KPL will treat you good. I mean, if it does my knives good, it's got to do the body good. What was that? What was that? Back in the day, milk. It does the body. Was that milk? It does the body good. Was that milk? Am I wrong about that? I feel like it was milk. I could be completely wrong. What was it? Something does the body good. I don't remember. I'm not going to Blade Show, Jared. I hope you can handle a disappointment. I wish everybody could go, but this is my first time going, so every single year I've wanted to go, and it was always disappointing not being able to go. So that sucks for you, man. I'm sorry you're not going to be there. And anybody else who's not able to make it, I don't mean to rub it in and be all excited about it, but this is my first time. Damn it! It wasn't milk. It does the body good. Was it milk? I thought it was milk. $250 for appointment and $250 for subs a month. Here it's like $70 a month for Doan, $70 a month for methadone for whatever. It's a $60 if you're under like a certain milligram, and then $70 if you're over, up to like I think 240 milligrams or something like that. And then for Suboxone, it depends on if you're on generics or not. Obviously, if you're on actual Suboxone, then it's higher than if you're on buprenorphine or Subzolves or whatever. So, but you can get it down to like, it just depends, because there's so many different programs and stuff. You can get it for free from certain programs around here. But if you're gonna pay for it, like you can go down to like $100 a month. Depends on your dose too, right? Does depend on your dose. If you're only on one a day, then it's gonna be a hell of a lot cheaper than if you're on 3 a day. And what milligram? So, but it's so cheap, so much cheaper. Heroin podcast. H2BH. Hate to. I don't know what the H2BH is. But no, this is not a heroin podcast. If you meant me, I don't know if you're saying H2BH is, or if you're saying this is, but this is not. But we do. I think a lot of people have been through a lot of shit, and I don't mind talking about my past. I try to not get into certain shit that for legality issues, but I don't mind talking about things that I don't have to worry about. I've been on subs 5 years, and it saved my life and allowed me to have a normal, productive life. I agree. Same. I paid $180 for my apartment, and then 8 milligrams a day was around $500. Oh, your appointment. I paid $180 for my appointment, and then 8 milligrams a day for damn. See, it's pricey. You can get on little programs like from like the RX thing that'll pay for a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of different programs you can find and get on to make it a lot cheaper. That's very expensive. That is very, very expensive. Like here, we have free clinics and shit that you can take advantage of. So you don't even have to pay for your clinic, you know, for your appointment or nothing. Not saying there aren't some that you do have to. If for methadone, you do though. There is free offerings to the methadone, but it's like takes like a year to get on it or some shit. But for Suboxone, like it's they're both gonna cost you, but but yeah, I think the methadone one, that's the one that's expensive for the first appointment. Anyways, let's talk about something else. People jumping off roofs and shit too. What the fuck? Um, I've definitely jumped off a few roofs. Yeah, but it was 12 years ago and no generic of spot. Yeah, back then they had the monopoly. They had that monopoly. Um, what else did I want to talk about? I already did. I already did. Oh, I think I talked about everything. I did get a new SE. So, or a SE, not new SE, but an SE. So I want to get all the SE knives. I got the SE3. I thought I got the SE4, but I guess I got the SE3, USA made, 1095 steel. This thing was like $65. Badass knife. It's not a big fixed blade. It's a small fixed blade, but fantastic for camping or just out back or even as an EDC fixed blade. I'm not saying it's the best EDC fixed blade. I think there's a lot of other EDC fixed blades that would be better for EDC, but it's compact. It's small. Here it is next to the PM2 just so you can see the size difference. So it's not a big knife, about the size of a PM2. Maybe Yeah, about the size of a PM2. Now I want to get the SC4, the SC5, the SC6, and then the Jungla. Is it Jungla or Jungla, whatever it's called? I'd like to get one of each so that I have the whole SE collection, all USA made. And these have the best warranty out of any company. I can break this right now on purpose and they will 100% replace it. Even if it's my own fault on purpose, they will replace it. The only way they won't replace it is if I broke it hunting a badger. That's the only reason why. That's the only way. Or if I did it killing a badger, I think. So as long as I'm not killing a badger with it, they will replace it. But badass, I do like it. Thick behind the edge, but it's a fixed blade, right? It's supposed to be tough, and it is. 1095 steel is already really tough, and it's not horrible. It's not horrible. The blade stock thickness is not crazy thick. It is robust though, but not the stock thickness isn't that thick. It's just the taper is not like the best for geometry, but it'll still cut really good. And when I lay back that angle and put a nice big edge bevel on this thing's gonna cut like a champ. I like it a lot. Um, or Ontario, sorry, Ontario. Imagine being so shitty your own body is against you. I don't know. Yeah, right. You had a surprise sponsor, didn't you, Jared? What do you mean? What do you mean? I do have a sponsor. I'm going to be announcing it soon in a video, but yes, I do have a sponsor for the shit. I do have a sponsor for the channel. So we did get sponsored by a company. So we'll see how that goes. So you guys will see me doing a little this video is sponsored by, and then yeah, hopefully you guys will help support by maybe clicking on the links and buying the products, because we're not going to get paid like per video or anything or per view or anything like that. We'll get paid off of based on how many people buy the products, but that's still moving towards a good goal, because anybody who's in this, has a YouTube channel and is doing it for a living, their goal is to get sponsors. So I'm very, very happy to get sponsors. I'm very happy to be over 145,000K right now and have the ability to get sponsors. So I can't wait for it. And the thing is the company that's sponsoring me, I already have their products. I use their products. So it's not like I'm being sponsored. Not saying I always will do that. I'm not saying that'll always be the case. But in this case, this first time, the company that's going to sponsor me, I buy their product. I'm on a monthly subscription already. So I obviously recommend it. I use it. I've been using it for months. Oh, shout out to Knife Modders. What's up? Richie B and Lindy Lou. Late to the party as usual. Fucking late to the party as usual. Probably going to be late to Blade Show too. Shout out to Richie B and Lindy Lou. Definitely go and follow their content. Go and follow their channel. Awesome, awesome couple in this community and the best modders in the business. It's both of them. Tops. Yeah, Top makes it amazing. They have a lot of fixed blades too, man. They got a lot. I just think like with the Ontario knives, man, they're USA made and they have every size for you. You know, basically this same knife from this size all the way up to this size. And it's USA made, affordable, really affordable. This was like I said, like $65. USA made, $10.95. Micarta. They have better versions of it. They have some with contoured scales. They got the SE4 and S35VN. So you really can't go wrong if you need a good quality and you want USA made. You can't go wrong with the Ontario knives. And it says USA right there. USA, baby. Rat 3. I want to get the Rat 4 and the Rat 6 next. That's what I'm like planning towards. I don't know what that one is, Tom. A Wesson. Tequila time. Are they, Nick? They're made close to you? Or are you talking about a different knife? After getting my Rockwall, I'm definitely USA made, but I got a Civivi budget. I hear you, man. I hear you. But it's nice when you can, when you got a couple extra bones, or if you find a good USA company, like say the Rockwalls, man. That's a fantastic deal. Titanium, good steel, USA made. That's a fantastic deal for that. So I think there are some USA companies that, you know, instead of buying a few budget knives, buy one good USA made knife. I totally recommend that. Every day of the week, you can get a good warranty. You got Hogue, you got ProTech, you got technically Chris Reeve, Spyderco especially Spyderco, because you're not going to beat their best heat treaters in the business for production knives. Benchmade, obviously. There's a lot of good USA companies where you can, you know, even some of the USA made Kershaws for like the budget knives. But I get it though, man, because it's tough, man, when you can get a $40 Civivi that's as good quality as like $100 USA made knife, or sorry, a $90 USA made knife, if not better, right? When you get up to like Civivi quality, when you start spending about $100 or about $95 to $100 plus. But I will say this though, you can get for $115 plus in the USA, $115 to $200, you have a plethora of amazing USA made knives. I mean, you got tons of Spydercos with amazing heat treats, and you have great warranties from Benchmade and Hogue and, you know, Sig Sauer, which is, you know, by Hogue, the Protex. You can do really good in that price range. But and like I said, man, it really, like, man, this will outcut and have a sharper edge than 90 99% of anything else out there, unless the other knife you have is by Spyderco. They have the best heat treats. Like, look at that. I just barely nicked myself. I just touched my edge, just barely tapped it. That fucker sharp, man. Whoo. The price of knives are outrageous. I can't believe what they want for plastic and stamp steel. That what you just said makes no sense at all. Not a damn bit. Doesn't even make any sense. Stamped steel? What are you talking about? Okay, so I'm gonna go into it because I'm gonna guess you just really don't know, right? And you're not trolling. So steel, they're saying steel is like saying car, right? It's like saying car. Because what kind of car? There's 1,000 different cars out there and they're all built differently and they all do different things. Like you can't compare a Chevy Cavalier to a Lamborghini, right? This would be like a Lamborghini K390, right? I can grab a Cavalier somewhere. Anyways, the point is, and then there's different quality heat treats. So you could have the same steel, different companies. One company does it better, so they're going to charge a little bit more because they take better care of it. That's like baking a cake. You can have a good quality cake, and you can have a shitty, stale, fucked up cake, right? You can't stamp these steels. They're hardened steels, right? They have to be cut and then heat treated. And like the liners and like cheap budget knives, yeah, you can stamp the liners, but that's not hardened steel. Sometimes it is afterwards, but but those are mostly CNC made, right? G10 is not plastic. It's like fiberglass reinforced plastic, basically. But that's not even stamped out. That has to be machined. So you got to know what you're talking about. They can do FRN like that, but that's when the price goes down because they're doing FRN. And that's cheap. That's like plastic. It's not as tough and it's easier to make. They can mold it or whatever. But G10 isn't like that. It's made and then they machine it. So, and then like when you start talking about titanium and things like that, you're talking about way more premium now. And the geometry and the belts it takes to make these and to grind them down. Like it's not like they just stamp them out and mail them out. They have to CNC cut them. Then they have to grind them down with belts, which all cost money and time and effort. The heat treat process, getting it down to the right protocol. Now, the better they make the steel, the harder it is for them to make. It's harder on their belts. It takes more belts, right? Ask a company, all right? Start calling some companies and ask them if they'll give you Maximet. It's 65 HRC. Listen to them all laugh at you because they can't even do it. It's too difficult for them to even machine. Only one company is doing it, and that's Spyderco. Name another company that's doing Maximet, right? Or Rex 121. Like they're not because they can't do it. So saying stuff like that just doesn't make sense. Like, and it shows like, and I'm not making fun of you or teasing you or anything, but it just really shows how much people, because I get these comments all the time, and it just really shows to me like how ignorant the people are. And I don't blame them for being ignorant, right? It's kind of like me explaining how a rocket gets to the moon, right? I can't do it. I can't do it. Or how Elon Musk has made them re-land. I can't explain that shit. And I don't understand it. So I don't pretend to. But you gotta think about it, right? Like it's like, why does a Rolex cost so much money? Right? Why does a Rolex cost so much money? And then after you buy it, the price only increases. So after you buy a Rolex, you can sell it 2, 3, 5 years later for way more money than you bought it for. Why? Why is that? Right? It's not just because it's stamped metal pieces, it's because it's made out of precious materials, precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, etc. And it's handmade. They literally hand put all those gears together and, it's made to the highest precision. And so you can't compare that to your fucking Timex, right? You can't do that. Now, In the same breath, though, like the knives that you're probably used to, your cheap gas station knives, you don't know because you have never felt good quality anything. It's kind of like having like being a framer on a job site, like building houses. I'm saying it's kind of like having a little one of those little house hammers on the job site. You have one of those on a job site right now, while other people have a framing hammer, a 20-ounce framing hammer, right? Who do you think's good? Like that's what that's like comparing to. Your gas station knife is not even, to us, we wouldn't even pay $1 for it because we know the steel's not heat treated. It's no name steel. They don't even tell you the steel because they're embarrassed to tell you. And it's just assembled really fast and then shit out the door, and it'll break 2 days into using it. Right. Versus if you spend a few dollars, right? 20, 40, $50, you can get a good quality knife. Now, you go up in price, the quality's going to keep going up. Just like everything, you get what you pay for. Just like boots, right? You can go and get a $40 pair of Walmart boots, or you can get some good Red Wings for a few $100s, and you can get them resold. You can, they last a long fucking time. The name has nothing to do with the raccoon. Just stop because you're screaming at a wall. Yeah, you're in the wrong place, probably, raccoon. And he's probably doing it on purpose. It's probably somebody we know fucking with us. Wait, you pay for the name, and because people will pay for it because they don't. No, that's not true. Yeah, of course, there's always a name that costs a little bit more. But if that company does shit, then people will stop buying it. That's how it goes. Of course, they might have a little bit of a following like certain companies, but most people don't buy from those companies if they know any better. But they usually have a reputation from improving their products and keeping up with the industries because the industry is moving so fast. It's kind of like a lot of the USA companies had to pick up what they were doing and start doing better products because the overseas companies were outbeating them massively. So because of that, they had to pick up the paces and do things better. And that's called you know, that's the name of the game, especially in the US. Yeah, butterfly tax. You can get some butterfly tax on a couple knives, but wait a second, though. Butterfly tax. Let's talk about it. They offer a lifetime free sharpening. You have one of the best warranties in the business, right? So the best warranty in the business. You can even get blade replacements for like $20. Anything breaks on the knife, they'll fix it for life. So you buy that knife one time, that could be your only knife for the rest of your life, and they'll sharpen it. Get two knives, so while you're getting that one sharpened, you have your other one. You can just switch back and forth. So it's butterfly tax, yeah, but it's because of what comes out of their pocket in the long run. So you're paying for that. You're paying for the lifetime warranty. You're paying for the lifetime sharpening service. You know what I mean? So, and USA made and all that other good stuff. But yeah, it's really not a great argument. Like if you actually named a company instead of just a broad spectrum, then maybe we can get on the boat with you. Like if you talk shit right now about Strider or something, right? About like heat treating their lock bars or something, yeah, we might be able to get on board with you. But just screaming it in the atmosphere when there's 1,000 companies doing you know, different services. Maybe I haven't read enough of your comments, but it just doesn't make sense to just scream about any company because there's too many of them. What company are you talking about? Name the company that you're talking about. Because you might not know anything about what you're talking about, and it really shows if you can't name the companies you're talking about, right? It's kind of like I have people sometimes in my shorts, they'll name stuff, but they've never bought anything more than a gas station knife. So what do they have to compare it to? They've never used anything good quality. They've never tried a good quality steel. They've never felt a good detent or a good lockup or good materials. So their perspective is like my perspective on rockets. Right. Exactly. Like if that was something we were complaining about, I could agree. Right. Exactly. $30 and you got your new S90V blade. Right. Pfft, that's awesome. Same thing here. And with ProTech, I had them do that one. Costed me a little bit more from ProTech, but still though, they still did the blade replacement for me. But it did cost a little bit more, a lot more in Benchmade. But hey, that's what you're paying for, right? Benchmade, it's a lot cheaper. And I think for their S30V, it's like $20. Yeah, that's what it is, or that's what it was. Maybe it's higher now, but I remember when I only had Ganzos and thought, how could it get any better than this? Right. Everything else must just be Oliver priced bullshit. Right. I know. Right. Exactly. And that's the thing is that if people realized how good those were, right? Like the gas station knife people, the people that refuse to spend more than $3 on a fucking pocket knife, if they felt a Ganzo, they'd be like, holy shit. Like, like, wow, this thing is so good. Now, that's only spending 25 bucks, right? Imagine if you did spend $150. Like you wind and with the heat treats, right? Like something like this, when you get a good quality fucking heat treat and your edge lasts 10 times longer than, something else that is more budget, but not saying you can't get a decent quality steel for 25 bucks because you can, but you're getting what you pay for, right? You're getting your Chevy Cavalier, right? It's not the Lamborghini or the Rolex. You're getting your a good quality Timex. And custom knives, the reason why custom knives cost so much is because you have, like, put it this way, that tactile rock wall took one person 3 weeks to do. One person. And so anybody who bitches about custom prices, how much are you working for? I'd love to know how much you work for per hour. Because if you're going to complain about a custom knife, you don't have to buy it, but don't complain about the price because that took a person hundreds of hours or like 100 hours or 150 hours or whatever it took in order to make. So that's not including the cost of the materials or the belts that it took to grind or this and that, their tooling and all that shit. That's not including that. That's just their time. So what is your time worth? Because if you're going to tell me that the knife is not worth more than 150, 200 bucks or something like that, then I want you to mow my fucking lawn. I want you to fucking come do some work for me because I'd love to pay you $1 an hour. There you go, Maurice. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I got a design, but I want to find the right company. I'd really like to get something done in the USA. I know that's stupid to say, but we'll see what happens. Yes, Teddy. Yes, yes. My books are closed until I get back from Blade Show, but I do recommend Blades and Fades. He does an incredible job sharpening. So Lacey's another one too. Lacey, she's a good sharpener. So Blades and Fades, Lacey, both of them. I'm not sure. I'm not speaking for them. Check and see if their books are open. I can't speak for them if their books are open or not, but Mike Emler too. He's a freehand sharpener. I believe Lacey, she's a freehand sharpener. Blades and Fades uses a fixed angled system. She might use a fixed angled system too. I think she has multiple different systems, but either way, I've seen both their edges. And I trust their work. So you guys could definitely get a hold of them if you guys need some sharpening done. And then when I get back, because I would never ask you guys to wait for me to get back from Blade Show, but right now my books are closed until I get back. So just put some KPL on it, Tri-State. Put some KPL on it. We're practically roommates. Sheesh, still alive? You left? I've been talking to you this whole time, Knife Sergeant. You left? You just came back? I've been sitting here talking to the fucking wall this whole time? Can you guys believe that shit? I've been sitting here talking to Knife Sergeant this whole time. This whole fucking time. I pull through books open. Oh, fuck. Nice. Nice. That's awesome, man. Yeah, the TS Prof systems, man, they are legit. They are about the best, the most quality built sharpening systems you can get on the market. They really are. And they have multiple different kinds. So they have everything from their base system, which is like the 360, which I have, which is amazing, all the way up to like the, what is it, the KO3 or something, the Cadet, things like that. Amazing, amazing, amazing sharpeners. Um, Depends on a couple things, though, so possibly. Just got a Cadet. Nice, nice. I'm about to do a video on the Cadet, just so you guys know. So those of you that do have it, hopefully you guys still watch it. Hopefully you guys, those of you that don't have a good system, wait. Just wait. Watch my Cadet video or watch my other TS Prof Blitz 360. I have links in the description with 5 different sharpeners from the Blitz all the way up to the Cadet. But I'm going to be testing the Cadet here soon on video, and I will have them linked down in the description if you guys are willing to spend the money. But yes, they do cost some money, but you get what you pay for. If you want a precision built sharpening system, you got to pay for it. It's just the way life works, right? If you want anything precision built to the highest tolerances, to the best of any company's ability, you are going to pay for it. If you don't have the money for it, there's a lot you can freehand, right? You can just buy stones and freehand yourself, which can be expensive too. Very expensive. I got fucking far more money in stones than I do sharpening systems. That's for damn sure. Hell, I got more money in 3 stones than I do in than a whole sharpening system. So, anyways, but there's a lot of budget systems out there. They'll still get you a great edge. You'll still be able to sharpen your knives. It's just you're not going to be able to sharpen every knife, and it's going to take you a lot longer, and it's just not going to be to the highest precision as a good quality or a more expensive sharpener. But I can see we've been going for a long time, guys. It's almost 10:30. I'm sitting here bleeding this whole time. So the damn K390, man, I'm telling you. Fucking edge is sharp. I didn't even barely touch it. I barely tapped this damn edge, but damn it. This thing is just, let's cut some paper. Because I know a lot of you, I love it, man. I love it. I troll you motherfuckers on the shorts cutting paper. I get more comments about, oh, way to go. Why don't you cut down some more trees? It's like as if you don't know that every time they cut down a tree, they plant 2 new ones. Anyways, but I get more comments on, that's dulling your edge. You're just dulling your edge. Yeah, I'm totally dulling my K390 that'll cut thousands of feet of cardboard before it'll stop fucking shaving hair. The fuck are you talking about? And this is used too. This isn't fresh. This is fucking used, like really used. I sharpened this months ago. Months ago. It's a screamer. It's a screamer. I bet you I could still whittle a hair on it. If not, damn close. If I stropped it up right now on some of that gunny, I bet I could whittle a hair. And that's months ago. And yes, I've used it a lot. It's just every time I use it, tune it up a little bit. And yeah, man, it just holds that stickiness. That's sticky. I do have a lot of other knives, so it's not like the only knife I've used. But same thing with my with this one. I sharpened this one months ago, and it's still, man, crispy. Let's test that one too. Fuck it. Why not? Which one's sharper? You guys be the judge. It's probably that CTS right now. Yeah, it's the CTS right now, but if I sat here to hit them both on a strap, it'd be very close. Not that the CTS came up sharper, But it's just man, these fuckers are so sticky. Oh, they do such a good job, man, on that CTS XHP and K390. All right, guys, I love you guys. Thank you to all my patron members. Like I was saying earlier, that Kara might be doing the next patron video. So you guys watch out for that. We do have the giveaway coming up for you guys. We do have to re-give away some of the stuff from the 100K. I know I'm late on that. Forgive me. We will be giving that stuff away again. Hopefully the people actually claim their prizes. Next thing, thank you to everybody who donated tonight. You guys know it massively helps the channel, and all the money goes back into the channel. It does cost a lot of money to run this channel, so it is a huge, huge benefit having you guys donate during lives and helping out in every way you guys do. You guys are amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We hit 145K. Nick Chapaz, here I come. I'm coming for you, Nick. And then we're coming for Everyday Minimalist. Coming for you next. Yeah. So stay tuned for that battle to the 200K. We'll be getting it soon. If everything keeps going the way it's going, it won't be long. It'll only be a couple months. But thank you to everybody who has supported so much, and all the Bang Gang squad. Shout out to the Bang Gang squad. We do not have a live tomorrow. That'll be next week. And that'll be the last one before Blade Show. I love you. Hey! Fox, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the 5 bones. Thank you, man. Good night to you guys. And again, man, thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys. I appreciate everything. I appreciate you guys just hanging out with me and shooting the shit, talking knives, talking whatever we talk about. You guys know we get pretty crazy in the Neevesknives live, especially after 9 o'clock. Shit gets a little sticky after 9 o'clock. And Tri-State EDC, join me. Join me for what? I'm not sure what the join me is for, but shout out to Tri-State EDC. Definitely follow his content. Follow Blades and Fades and Knife Sergeant and all the other channels in here. All great, great channels. Oh, I'll be live tomorrow from the road. I'll jump on with you. What time? Let me know what time, man. I'll jump in your car with you. You can swing by and pick me up on the way. Just send me the link. Yeah, let me know, man. Just message me. But so shout out to the road trip tomorrow. Hopefully you guys can join us for the road trip. I love you guys. Thank you guys for everything. Peace.